It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
You guys hear the intro? You guys hear the intro or now? Is the intro good or now? Okay, you're now cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I am your host today, Mr. Benjay. Nassim no Tomasi, he is no surprise at another wedding, but we are joined still by a great stable of co-hosts. To my left, Mr. Don Dada, coach of the Telluride Bush. To my right, multi-FPS champion, world champion Chris Duarte, aka Parasite. Below me to the bottom left, got the human turd himself, Mr. Sam LaRue Octane. To my bottom right, my best friend on planet Earth, Mr. Dylan Attach, multi-FPS champion and world champion. Gentlemen, how are we doing today? We'll start with you, Don Dada. Don, obviously your boys. Big victory this week. Another chip on the board. How are you feeling after your guys' win in the elite yesterday?
The win was good. We can still get a lot better. I feel like a lot of the top challengers teams right now are struggling, and even us. I feel like Nico individually is godlike, but we can still just clean some things up, get a little bit better for the major. So yeah, good. It's good that they won. Yeah, Trace. Trace is insane, but yeah, just mesh it better as a team, making it more, just being more dominant. But yeah, good win. Happy for the team, happy for myself, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, we'll get back to you in a second on the bush shop. I'm gonna go to you on the right, Chris Duarte. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. Watching some Counter-Strike. Falcons, former FaZe Kerrigans on that team now. They're actually about to eliminate Team Vitality out of the tournament. Vitality's been the best team, so it's a crazy storyline. But yeah, lots of esports today for me. Having a blast.
Yeah, but it's CS going on. We also got soccer going on. Dill, I'll go to your next big victory.
I'm feeling fantastic because I think one of the last shows you hosted, Ben, you said I was a top 3 friend in your A tier. Now you said best friend in the world. I said best friend. I leveled up. Hey, I kicked Tommy off the top spot, man. Tommy at the wedding, he's going to hear about this one, but I'll take it, man. I'll take that's good gas from Benjay. We're locked in forever, Benjay. You know this, but that made me feel good. I'm representing the Japan right now. I got my Japan jersey going on. They play soon, but of course, the USA, the land that gave me everything and all the opportunity. I'm glad they got to win today, so I'm happy.
How was going to the England game the other day?
Oh man, the game was fucking crazy. That's probably the England-Croatia game, because I went a couple days ago. That's probably the best sporting event I've ever been to. The vibes, the atmosphere, there's nothing like it. I've been to UFC fights, baseball games, World Series baseball games, football games. Oh shit, Tom, my bad. Yo, Tom, go back to your wedding, man. Go drink some champagne. His new bestie's here, Tom. You go have some fun tonight, okay? I'll handle Benjay. But no, for real, bro, World Cup game, obviously it's very expensive, but if you have the opportunity, the chance to go, and you enjoy football, you enjoy soccer, it's amazing, bro. The fans are crazy. The English fans were incredible. The Mexican fans were in there. They were throwing up little Japanese people in the air chanting. They were grabbing white kids, throwing them in the air.
Were they actually there?
Door mask on. Bro, it was a party. It was literally a party before the game started, but
they were throwing little Japanese kids in the air.
Bro, it was insane. They had the luchador mask. They're in the fucking, what's it called? Lucha Libre or whatever that movie's called.
Nacho Libre?
Yeah, it was a great game. Then England won. They're singing all the songs too. It was just such a vibe.
Wonderwall. What else did I do? I forgot. Hey Jude.
Wonderwall. What's it called? Sweet Caroline. All that, man. It was fun.
I love Sweet Caroline overseas, man.
I'm gonna go to the Argentina game on Monday, so I'll experience the same AT&T or Dallas Stadium environment as you. But Sam, we'll go to you next. I know you and I were hanging out on the call today. Not the world's greatest matches, but are you still trying to have a good day today? How are you feeling?
I think today's going to be great. You know what? We got a substitute teacher. We're going to put on a movie, and we're just going to vibe out, man. It's going to be great.
All right, well, let's get into it.
You're the substitute teacher.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Thank you. As if I didn't know. Let's get back to this Bush thing real quick before we get into matches. I saw this tweet. Don, obviously, you guys have been killing it. You guys have won cups. You've won an event. You've won elites. And with the placings, you guys in prize money have earned more than 2/3 of the CDL. That's not insane, guys.
Yeah, we're triple Dota up, bro. That's crazy.
And our salary is not even worth one player on these teams, bro. Boys are getting $250 a month. But yeah, I mean, Challengers, bro. Challengers is lit. It's been a great year for Challengers. I'm glad for our team to just have so much success, and champs, bro. Champs in the World Cup, bro. That's the goal, bro. I want to be on that fucking stage coaching. calling people out. Yo, last guy missing is Purge. It's Purge. Last alive. And we're just fucking blicking them down. Last alive is Purge. Don't forget him. Y'all to watch the flank.
Oh,
Hopefully we win
dog.
champs
What's
and, we
going
qualify for the
on?
World Cup. But yeah, more prize money to get.
Absolutely on that. Dale, by the way, you're getting faked out by a replay. So walk in, please pay
Oh,
attention
shit.
to the
Nice.
show and not
That was
my
a goal, bro.
not
I thought
halftime
that-
of what's going on right now.
I thought
Dale.
that was a goal,
No,
bro.
it was a goal in the second minute of the game.
Nice.
45 minutes ago. All right, let's get into the matches. This is just kind of
Yeah,
a
dude.
quick review or what the potential scenarios look like. We're starting to get some clarity, but as you can see, the middle of the standings is a mess. There's still a lot of teams that could end up in losers bracket, and the really only things we know right now are Thieves is probably getting the first seed, C9 and Vancouver are probably going to start in losers bracket, and potentially Toronto as well. But we'll talk about them more starting tomorrow. But I want to kick off with the first match of the day. We were
You
super worried
fucked
about
up,
FaZe Vegas. I think
dog.
everybody here. I did the podcast this week with Rambo Ray and my boy Nameless and to Jobo in the chat. We were having a lot of conversations about FaZe Vegas, and we were a little bit worried. But today, the boys were shooting, and they came out firing with a hot 3-0 victory against the Falcons, winning by just under 100 points in the gridlock. Hard point, 6-1 Falcons on the S&D, and a hot 7-0 on the gridlock overload. So FaZe won all three of the triple. Gridlock, taking a look at the scoreboard.
Dog, can
Wow.
I see
I had
your
to sound more
resume,
you here to
dog?
womp womp, because Falcons with the full-on red carpet, a 0.8 for MC
Maybe
Go,
when I'm not streaming.
0.87 for Exton, chalking my fucking picks. Kids at a 0.6, that is tough to see, and a
Wait, I
0.8
forgot,
for AG. He was probably distracted by the fact that the USA were playing Australia at the same
gotta
time. Maybe
make
I
the
don't know.
fake
On the side of FaZe
resume.
Vegas, everybody fried. 0-4 to Don with a 1.53 today. Abuza with a
Whiskey.
the 1.21, draws at a 1.23 ABC, and Simp the Pimp. A good rebound series for Simp the Pimp after a bad couple of weeks. He drops a 1.35, and according to Breaking Point, they had the Pimp as your match MVP with a 1.1 in hard point, a 3.33 in S&D, and a 1.3 in overload. I'm going to start
I'll be
with you,
back.
Dill. Like I said, we were really worried about the FaZe Vegas boys, but do you think this is a bit of a vibes, a little bit of a statement win on the bounce for them to try and make sure they can get this winner's bracket spot?
Oh, absolutely. They needed this. I mean, they've been looking terrible in their last couple of matches. If they lost this one too, we'd have been like, damn, FaZe is cooked. They need to really blow it up. But this was coming back and winning like this is insane. Falcons need to start vetoing every map in every mode gridlock. This is a hard veto map for them now because they just got gunned to bed. Someone had a 0.5. Kismet might have had a 0.2 on that map 3, I believe it was. He was going for the 4 and 23. I think he ended up doing a little bit worse than that,
0.35
but
though.
they couldn't get a damn kill. It was terrible. But yeah, this is great for FaZe. This is what they needed. 0-4 was popping 3-piece after 3-piece on that map 3. Simp is back to what like the normal Simp we're used to seeing play the game. And this is exactly what you want. It's the last weekend of online COD before the major. You need FaZe to get hot because this team won a chip already. They could definitely go out and win some more. In this new meta, recently in the matches, they just haven't really looked good. But now, maybe they're starting to figure it out. But yeah, Falcons, I don't know, this team just like, it's so weird. They're all right sometimes and they're bad. They're just such a disappointment too. Like with these players, those salaries, I just expect so much more out of them. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to expect of these guys at LAN. Like if we're just gonna get another top 6 or top 8 from them, it's just a whole failure of a season, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, are you as sort of dramatic as Dill is about triple ban and gridlock of your Falcons? You think they just didn't show up today?
Well, I think they didn't show up, and I just don't think they're that good of a team. I don't know. I think Falcons are just a top 6, top 8 team, and this is just what I expect from them. Like, FaZe has been struggling, but I still think FaZe clears them in pretty much every way, even though they're playing poorly, which is why I picked them to win today. Like, I think FaZe did play pretty clean today, which I wasn't expecting as much, but even with FaZe struggling, I still expect them to beat a team like Falcons. Like, I think this team, since that whole roster thing, I feel like every time we talk about it, they're just bringing up kind of a dead roster, in my opinion. Like, MC hasn't been great this year. Like, the team is a nothing burger to me, truthfully. I think they're just waiting for next season to see who they can get in their infinite money sweepstakes and go from there. Because, I mean, this season is kind of a wash.
You're out, Sam. Like, we're like, we don't give a care.
Sam's been saying that. I completely agree with Sam. This Falcons team is not
Everything
doing
that
shit.
feels like top 6.
Yeah, I mean they
Maybe
can get
lucky
a top
top 4.
They can get a top 3 if they're all playing legacy out of their mind. But like that's not gonna happen. Like someone's gonna throw up the bullshit. Someone's gonna have an off day. So maybe top 6. Like they'll beat somebody for sure.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything else. It's been like that the whole time. These guys stink. I mean, honestly, thinking about it, bro, no AR player. I know there's been some good ARs. Listen, bro, the only AR player that should get that much fucking money is Scrap, and even him, like, I think you should probably give that type of money to a fucking SMG. Like, you need an SMG to win.
You don't think MC's like
800,000, bro?
I mean, it's crazy,
The
but
only SMG should get 800,000 is fucking Shotzzy, bro.
fair, but you don't think an MC after a couple hundred people performances like he deserves, and even at 800K, for like getting a big payday seems reasonable.
There's a contract.
800, bro. This team is just
He
completely.
won the year already, bro. He won every
This
event.
team is just so overpaid, and obviously I'm happy. Like everybody eats. I'm just saying there is no way they like. I mean, unless they're just saying fuck it, like we don't give a damn. They just keep throwing out money like that. Like players should get that money if they're like SMGs, superstar players. They're all like Joe. Like Joe's probably not even getting half of that. Like Sen.
Yo, Dom, what do you think they're like in the fucking practice room? Like, after the match, like, damn, bro, we just lost. And I was like,
MC pulls up his direct
The Salt Bay restaurant.
65 rats in a wire straight to the check-in. Oh my god, you have to watch a lot of stuff.
He's just
Guess what? 11 Wells Fargo bank account up on the phone.
The thing just got gone. It's like, on land, we're gonna show up. We're landing. Fuck it.
I think it's his girls, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like he's just vibing, man.
Yeah.
Damn, we lost
800K.
again. Fuck, that sucks. All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's-
Listen, I'm gonna give you the work in a sec. I mean, I've talked to MC quite a bit. Like, I think, and we've been pretty spot on with this. I think we're like the communication as a team. We felt like they're a bit of a scanning team. I don't think MC's gonna excel much in a team like that, but individually he's got so much better freshman SMD, and he has put some good SMD performances as a split. But I think you guys, we don't give a fuck about this online shit, and we want to see them make a deep in their events. And the work out to get to you for your thoughts on that.
I mean, obviously, I think we're making a lot of jokes, and I think we're being a little unfair because I think this team has improved like over the last couple of like months and gotten better, and they've obviously shown upside. Like they had a decent major where they beat some good teams, although the placement wasn't anything crazy. But like at the major, they literally had the reverse of this. They beat FaZe 3-0 at the major. So, like I'm just gonna like keep it. I'm gonna keep it focused though. Like just like what's going on now. I do think that I agree with you guys on Falcons' ceiling. Like I think they are probably a top 6 team, and if they play insane, maybe they can make a run. But it's just I just don't see it happening. This team is just way too inconsistent. They're susceptible to matches like this where they just don't show up, and it's so strange considering they've just made so many improvements. It's just weird to see them like spawn and just give you nothing for 3 straight maps.
I don't think it's bizarre at all.
No, I don't think it is either. Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, no. Getting blown out like I listen. If they get 3-0'd, okay, they get 3-0'd, but they weren't even competitive at all, like at all.
The only time they win is when they win like 3 online series.
Where did you get the mango flavored monster from?
They have them at most locations, I would say. It's one of the main ones. It's probably the third main.
Going back to a normal major format where you got one match and this team doesn't have a Kickstarter.
That's pretty good.
Like they had before. I think they could probably get top again. Like
Yeah, maybe.
this team is just waiting to see who they're going to get in 3 months, bro. It
Well,
is
what?
My bad, Ben. Let me
You'd
just
say
say one
it's,
thing because it kind of
pretty
like
good.
piggybacks off of what we were saying. Is like
Yeah, it's not as
money
as
thing
fizzy
is
as the
that
others. It's more like a juice, but it's
Exit
still got
and
some
kids all have
fizz to
equal
it.
impact, pretty much. Like some days
Definitely
kids
tastes good.
take, some days Xnet is sniping shit, 1v3 and shit. But like it's all just turns off randomly. And then Cell is 800K. He should be Patrick Mahomes. He should be Lamar. He should be the motherfucker. Like, all right, he's just always reliable. Like they don't have anyone that's always reliable. But Cell is camping. That's the only thing we know that's gonna happen. He's just gonna be camping the whole fucking series. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all that fucking money, we should have somebody being a star. Like, someone being a fucking star. We don't got no consistent star.
I just think
So that's why they can't make Sunday.
I just think Don is just a big momentum team. Like you can hear it in their plans, and they also have excellent working. They're still running teams. I agree with you. MC hasn't been that rough this season, but like carry them through some of those iffy series. He just kind of goes along for the ride down the fucking hill, and that's how we saw them you know, 3-0 phase, and then
It's your
they hit
back
one
today.
bad series, and they just comes to bed and loses that.
I was fine
To
until.
be fair, there's one AR in the entire league that is capable of like popping off to that degree when his teammates
Yeah,
are
so
still
it hurts
struggling, and that's
more
crap.
when you play
Everyone else
guitar
is like,
versus
yeah,
when you
they can do
exercise.
good, but
I agree.
usually they're doing good when it's like a collective effort. But like,
Well,
yeah,
the thing about doing exercises, like I've always said, you have, you know, all the fucking hormones running through your body, like adrenaline and fucking. I can't remember what the other one, dopamine or whatever, to make you feel a little better. You're playing guitar, you kind of have to. Even if you're not controlling your body, you're still just standing there.
I think that point aside,
Or
so a couple things
for
to
me
close things out.
hurts less than sitting. And
Everybody take a deep breath, relax.
I can only
And the Falcons
do it for so long.
Yo, you are comedy, man.
Okay, it's all good. Relax. Okay, Falcons right now with the highest chance to get to the second.
Like it
seed.
used to hurt
There's
way
theoretical
more
matchup in
doing
that
exercises,
with
but
either
now it's
Washington
far
or
more
Detroit.
manageable.
It's very early.
Where if I'm doing the core exercise, at least I'm using my muscles.
Raw, but we all agree
So it's not
that
just
is,
like I'm using that part of my
everybody
body.
agrees.
The joints are being
Top
used,
six in this
but
event,
the
yes,
muscles
yes,
are
yes.
actually being used as well. So
Like if they play Boston first, I mean, shit, that's an easy top 6 right there. So
That's what I'm saying. Maximum top six. Do you think they're winning that next match?
I mean,
and then,
it depends on the bracket because you can get two good matchups and maybe get a top 3, but I would say maximum like top 4. Like I see them beating a Boston, losing to like a FaZe, General Mates, Optic, Eve, and then winning like maybe one. Yeah,
I see them losing the G2. I hope they play. I see them losing the G2.
I can see them losing. I think it's a good series though. I see it going both ways.
they're doing
You think doing cable
they
twists
play
would help your back?
tomorrow.
twisting. Until my core is stronger,
All right,
I
any final
can't
thoughts before
twist.
we move on from this absolute
Or
shock?
not even twisting. It's just like you hold it
I think they look good.
like
then you walk-
in a
walk
static
out.
I feel like
position.
they had like a little bit of a get right series because everyone
Walkouts,
was
that's what
cooking
they're
their
called.
shit.
Their,
I
their
think they,
practice
That's what they're
must have
called,
been really good.
walkouts.
I think
As
they
far
came
as
out
I
to
know.
What are you picturing? What are you picturing
Like you're holding,
when
you're holding the cable like you're gonna do a twist, but you just walk to the side.
and executed well.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's one thing that I would like to do, but I don't have a cable.
Well, you could probably do it with resistance bands, but you need to get pretty high resistance bands.
Hurt them because people aren't going to want to play them on it, but it could also just make it so they're more likely to predict vetoes, I guess.
Well, some anecdotes on the FaZe front. One is I was in Texas earlier this week. Was talking to Crowder.
So that's why they're flying out.
Or honestly, you can just tell, like, no, maybe your sister just get like some kind of like rope you hold and she
I was talking to
pulls.
Crowder. He felt
You
like
try to just like
practice was good. Just need to be a better job translating.
yeah, just like maintain
On the Tuesday when I was in the
the
office,
same
I went to
position
get
or
a
whatever.
bottle of water. They were having a bit of a team talk and told me to fuck off, so they definitely walked in. And then they also had a three set up. I think they've been putting in the work, and I think you guys would agree with this team as we've talked about when they're getting in good positions.
There's one
and
where
getting
you have a
kills, it looks
barbell,
great, where they were getting in
and you
trouble. as
put
they're making the right
you
plays and
tie
just not
a
executing their
lightweight
weight
to the end of a
I think
resistance
today
band,
we saw this,
and you dangle it off of one side, but I
from school.
can't get that to feel right. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly.
No snapper
Does
shoes
it feel right? But that's another one.
All right, well, let's move on
I
to
could
talk
do
more
it,
about
I don't
FaZe. I think their
understand.
next match is on Sunday.
Wait,
versus
you just
Vegas
put it on
last
one
night.
side, not on both?
All right, so
Yeah,
it's
no,
online
that's
match
not
for the
one.
season. But let's move on and talk
want
about
the
the
imbalance, so you have
Sam's
to
boys, the LA
stabilize
Thieves.
with the
We're playing
imbalance.
the boys on C9. We were wondering if Ernesto would bring out
But
the
Okay.
so
Pat
what
Kelly,
like what is
unfortunately did not.
or like what is
That
the
being said, I don't
position? Is
think
it
this
a
the world's
bench press
cleanest,
position?
match out of the
I'd
LA
love
Thieves
like
that
a-
we've
like a
before, but it
back
wasn't the
squat.
world's cleanest for
Where you're
all time.
standing.
Sam did a
Okay.
really great C
You're
for
standing up
9
straight.
after the series.
And you don't move?
First map 250 to 1. They lost
well,
pretty cleanly to C9.
the more difficult one is you walk forward.
Pretty much nothing in that SMB. And the overload,
You can either stand or
bit of
walk
an interesting
forward.
one. Gritty Scarville, but I think C9 came down. Maybe it could be the pants a little bit down right now. We'll talk a little about it. And then the last one was
interesting.
close, but some scams out of C9. And that one, as they lost their
Like I've tried it, but I
Taking a
can't tell
look
if
at
I'm
the
doing it correctly,
scoreboard,
so I don't
mixed bag across the board. Not a great
really
series
bother
from
with it.
0.88. We're from Scrabble.
Because I could do around the world, just like 2 sets, and I feel better doing that.
With the 108, and Tyler Abizi continuing his really good streak right now with a 104. He had a couple of insane.
You should get
on the flip side, 4 C9 and Courage, really good series.
the mace spells.
A 1.2 in the series. Webby is coming in impressed a lot. I think everybody here would agree.
It's
But he's
basically
having
work
a
on
really good run.
the same thing
He dropped a 1.2
as around the worlds, but they also incorporate your shoulders, so
Hydra
you'll
was your MVP in
strengthen
the series with a 1.16.
your shoulders as well, stabilize them better.
In Overload, Don Dada will start with you. You do with Sam's assessment of the series. A letter C grade for
Is
LDD.
it that brace?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I
no.
swear Ernie wasn't trying. Ernie was getting blinked down.
Let's see if I can.
He was like, wait, hold on, this is a little close. We might lose this shit. Let me lock in. I think they were probably testing Sake Search too. I don't know if they played it before. Oh no, they did play. They did play. They did win it actually. Yeah, they did play. I'm tripping. But yeah, they looked shit at that map. The Overload, they played good on the good side. Second side, obviously, see now we're on the good side, got a little close. I think overall, this is just more of a dub for C9. It's one of those teams
sent it in Discord.
I mean, they're fucking AMs, bro. Like, and in the listening, Nedra literally put the mic in his mouth, like closer.
Oh, like you.
He literally grabbed the mic and was like, 4 fraud, 4 fraud, 4 fraud.
Go calm.
Yeah, I don't know what to call that one, but that's basically, I could do that with the kettlebell too, right?
Like you're in an Xbox Live party, bro. His coach
Yeah, but because the weight is further out on the mace, it's better.
Insta, bro. What the fuck are you doing? That's how in game you start fucking tweaking. But like I said, I mean, Webby looks good. Courage had a great series. I feel like this was more of a dub for them. Like going to the land, try to upset some people. But yeah, I mean, LAT, they knew they won the whole entire fucking time.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. Don, Chris, what do you think of the series?
I mean, I don't really got any thoughts on the overall series. I just think this is good for Webby. Just another series where he's playing like some of the better players in the world, and you know that guy's not afraid to shoot. Like, you can tell his POV's good. He's got really good aim, and he seems like he knows what he's doing on the map. So this bodes well for him and his stock going forward. Hopefully the right people are paying attention because considering this guy's literally just turned 18 and he's like at least statistically and just POV wise shooting. We thought Nedra was impressive at first when he was on this team before, and yeah, I think Webby just supersedes that. So I mean, they'll get some good eyes on him. As for the Thieves, I mean, dude, it's all my match against C9. They're probably not trying. I mean, I'm not gonna make complete excuses for them, but I mean, they just won like 3 tournaments in a row, and they look really good no matter what. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna go next to you, Dill. What are your thoughts? You heard the boys?
I'm grateful. I think we all are. We only have to watch one more C9 online match in Black Ops 7, so I'm very ready to not have to talk about these guys anymore. Because honestly, they shouldn't really be here in the league. It's good that they are here because some of them actually got to like show they belong. I think Webby is probably the best one. We were gapping at the start, but I think Webby actually probably should get on our team instantly going into next year. But yeah, weird scenario to even get into the CDL. These guys probably wouldn't even be winning in challengers like either. So I'm just glad we don't really have to watch them anymore. They have improved a little bit, but they have a couple.
You gotta start fucking abducting little babies and injecting their blood into your shoulder.
I don't even know if we call it a project. It was just like the low budget C9 giving them the bare fucking minimum they could, and the T16 challengers players accepting it to get into the CDL. So it sucked that we had to watch this all along. They've improved a little bit, which is good to see. Hopefully we could be in the league.
Gotta get that young blood in your body.
Not good. LA Thieves, we all know, guys, we know the players. They were not trying.
I need those fucking young osteoblasts or osteoclasts, whatever the fuck they are.
Yes, the map
What is that? Osteoblasts.
The shit
we could be on whatever. We are going to win this match. So I think they were just taking their foot off the gas a little bit, and yeah, we'll see what these can do in their matches.
Yeah, the shit that builds your bones, dog. Remember?
Damn, dog, I don't fucking remember any of that shit. It builds your bones.
All right. Well, fair enough, I guess. I mean, Sam, when we were talking about LAFs, you think they could have locked in this one?
One breaks down your bones, so then you can rebuild, and the other one rebuilds you.
Okay. You're right. We still have to talk about them at the major.
Yeah,
He
unfortunately.
said online. He said online. He said online.
So online.
And EWC, unfortunately, too. EWC, EWC. Sam, any thoughts on LAPs in the Legend series? Or?
Not really. I think they just were playing C9 online and they knew they were going to win, so they weren't trying until they hit the point in the game where they had to try to win the map, and then they did that. Other than map 2, I think C9 played a good search, which they usually do play a good search. They're a pretty formidable SMD team, but yeah, the respawns have been an issue all year, and will continue to do so just because it's a skill gap, knowledge gap, experience gap, gun skill gap, tactics gap, con gap.
Just a gap everywhere. I mean, speaking of gaps, I got a couple of clips here. And this is a good example of C9 not really hitting some gaps. Relax. It's a good clip. It's a good educational clip. Everybody
Don't
relax.
go
It's a
to
good
China,
educational clip.
get
It's a
that Chinese medicine.
Okay, it's things that we preach a lot here, which is C9
white
or
lion
greater
medicine.
position. The rotation in P2, it's the beginning of the
Yeah,
map,
dude.
and you notice the Webby gets a kill middle map. We know we have some guys thrown up. They do end up pushing a lobby to get a kill and then work what the boys on C9 do. Absolute iron metal boots off of one kill. 2 guys just holding stairs now.
Dog, what if your pain is just a manifestation of your mind?
They do actually go on and break this hill, but
That's
they
the
burn
more shots.
30 seconds doing that, and y'all we get a kill. We
Why,
got lobby
dog?
control.
If
We
it's your
got a
mind,
fucking trend to
you
slow
could
down.
possibly fix it.
Really, we got multi-world champions
I
in
think it's
here.
harder to
We
fix
got
your
multi
mind than your
FPS winners,
body.
and no more analysis than that.
Yes, they need to move.
Best analysis we can give you is
But dog, you just gotta adopt a positive mental attitude.
Your brain is like the least changeable thing in your entire body.
Yeah, you can see here, I can see her killed a lot of time in that one. So, a fun clip there. I got a couple of more for you.
Dog, your negative thoughts
You guys
are
know
manifesting in your
Not
body,
true, it's
dog.
fake narrative, fake news. I have to guess Tyler here. This kill is fucking crazy if he gets here. I mean, bro, watch this shit. Is this skill of Tyler in this situation? For him, I think it's right here. He's gonna go ahead and square with someone. You're gonna see it in a sec, but he kills somebody window, and it's fucking crazy.
Encourage, he gets pooped on.
I think it's right here, right? Did I miss it?
Awesome.
It was during the listening. It was during the listening, and I think it was Nedra.
Oh, it's here.
During the listening, and he killed Nedra. And he said,
Was it the next page shoot? Did I scan? I thought it was here.
Yo, that kill was insane. All right, next clip.
Now I gotta find this clip. No, I burned it. Now I gotta find this clip. No, relax. I gotta find this clip.
It was in the listening.
I know, it's right here.
Dog, can you get me some pepper spray?
It was a nice snap. It was a nice
Yeah, so you
snap.
wanna go to fucking jail, dog?
But like,
Dog, I need it for the coyotes.
Nice.
This guy's
What are you
so
gonna
fucking
fucking
They're
murder
all
innocent
over.
animals,
Right.
dog?
It was-
So
didn't even
far
give
out of
him
the way to
dope,
try to
bro.
clear his
Must
name, bro.
protect
fucking
He's
myself.
like trying to force tip.
Yeah,
no dope
Finesses
from
it,
that.
finesses it.
Dog, what do you want me to
This is it.
do, dog? They're gonna
Alright, we're working it,
tase
boys are done.
You have to die or call the fucking government to help.
Back,
And then it'll take too long or I'll die, dog.
Plays a good fucking angle, gets the kill. And let's see what he's gonna go
I
ahead
gotta walk with a fucking knife, dude.
Wait for it. 'cause I wanna
But
watch
dog,
the whole
that's
streak. It's
illegal,
a
eh?
good streak.
All
Just
the time.
relax. It's a good streak. Ready?
No, well,
Ready? Because they don't even show the other kill.
Waiting on it,
they
bro.
need to do a
Waiting
better
on
job
it.
of killing all these fucking coyotes, dog.
Good kill, man. We meant to skip.
Bro, if those coyotes decided to chase me that one night, I'd be fucked.
We waited 10 minutes to see.
There's 2 of them, dude.
Dog, you gotta stand your
Those are great
ground and
shots,
snap
though.
some
Those
fucking
are great
jaw,
shots,
man.
though. Those are good shots. You gotta
Okay, like literally they were both like the size of your dog.
It's good shots, bro.
How the fuck am I gonna defend myself against that?
The average crim and red place in that shot.
I'm gonna get fucking rabies by the time it's over. Be dead.
There's only one other clip that I wanted to show here. Give me your thoughts on this. I want your thoughts on this little corner spot here. Hyde tries to get on this like a ledge spot over here. He eventually gets up there.
Did they give us a vaccine for that? Is it even possible to get a vaccine for that?
There's a rabies vaccine.
I mean,
You know if they gave it to us in school?
Shoot with your team. Shoot with your team.
But it's treatable. Either way, it's treatable as long as you don't want to.
What the fuck? Shoot with your team. First of all, even if it works, even if that play works, if he
Dog, if you haven't become hydrophobic, then you're probably good, dog.
What does hydrophobic feel like? Is it just like, oh, whenever you drink water, you want to throw up? If you get nauseous? Or is
That
it
I don't
like,
know,
oh,
but
I'm
like,
actually scared to drink water?
yeah, that I don't know, but like the hydrophobic that I believe
he's actually public robot.
rabies causes is probably some sort of
What do you think you told his teammates? Like, bro, that was so unlucky.
nausea from drinking, but also like I think just visually, you don't want to drink it, and I guess you can have the feeling of being thirsty.
Shit's crazy. For C9, they will be first match tomorrow against the Miami Hurricanes. We're not playing.
I don't think
maybe
it would be like a yin and yang where you have a desire to drink it, but then it makes you sick. I think
in
it's
comparison for the LA Thieves. We talked about the game stage. Obviously, they're the defending champions. They won the last 2 months. They had a freebie schedule. Vancouver Surge coming up this weekend. They're probably going to finish as your number 1 seed going into this event. Any final thoughts before we move on to the last series of the day?
Nothing about that Abizi clip. That shit was fire.
That Abizi clip, though. That fucking Abizi clip, though. That shit was fire. Speaking of fire, this series was fire. Really. Gentlemates with a 3-1 victory over the Boston Brief. Boston actually playing pretty good, and Boston, as you can see, have a 3-2 record. So they will actually start a winner's bracket this event. Gentlemates now with this victory will join them in that as well. Gentlemates getting off to a hot start in the match, winning 250 to 121. Boston was able to reply with a free guess needle. Had a couple of clips on that because Gentlemates continue to struggle doing anything as a team, particularly scoring. We definitely need to talk about that. The Den overload was pretty clean, and the Gentlemates Boston really did nothing. And the Sake hardpoint did come down to an exciting ending of which we will watch. So there was an opportunity for Boston, and maybe extend this for S&D. You never know. Unfortunately, we will not see it. Taking a look at the scoreboard, everyone in Gentlemates fucking cooked today, except for Ecuador. Ecuador getting carried in a series. Game goes for the 1-3. Joe receives the 1-3-2 instead of the 1-2. Everybody on Boston negative 0.94 for after 0.7 for the first, 0.98 for the 0.9 for Tuesday. I don't know if they can stop either team. Hardpoint 1 for this move. The 0.92 in the overload. We're going to start with Sam. Sam, you think, if you agree with me, I think maybe Boston, if they like a bit more clinical in the hard point, maybe this goes to 5 and 8 chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, if Dante doesn't whip his dick out and walk in front of a P2 for a 4-piece, yeah, we're probably going to see what S&D, but unfortunately, that's not the timeline we live in.
Okay, so I didn't even look at the video, but it was just in recommended for YouTube, and it's like a short, but I guess like the thumbnail, it says, crazy how Bear would have kept Nikki like this if she didn't start acting crazy.
On that map at all. And that's like a continuous thing.
What do you think of that, dog? What do you think of the person writing that, dog?
But everything else I feel is pretty straightforward. Purge has severe blackmail on the Boston
Yeah, the
Breach.
whole reason why anyone thought everything was weird was because she was acting crazy.
Season, I would be flabbergasted. I mean, mates, I just...
Whoa.
I don't really know how far being good at respawn is going to carry them, especially against the top.
I feel
I
like
think he's insinuating that Bear is a bad person by keeping her that way if she hadn't acted weird, though. I think that's what that person is trying to insinuate.
Surge, so it's a good start, but
You gotta stop slandering
Yeah, dog, you don't have a counter argument to that, dog?
well, he's not making an argument.
0.52 in the map, and not that much hill time either. We'll go to you next, Duarte. Thoughts on this series?
It's like, oh wow, my house, the temperature in my house is a really nice temperature. I'm not gonna change it. Wow.
Somebody in the comments said he didn't even love Nikki. He loved the idea of loving Nikki. What do you think of that?
I mean, that's
Oh.
probably one of the reasons why they might not be the best at searching short
Doesn't
team.
actually make sense.
They got the job done.
Whoa.
This team has made roster changes. They're still improving. It wasn't that clean. Boston has been pretty good at hardpoint as of recent. So even with Purge basically not getting a kill, they still managed to keep that map board close. So I guess that's kind of impressive, but overall, I mean, General Waves just outclasses this team in every fashion. I didn't really expect them to lose to this team, even though it got close.
Like
They
all,
potentially
like,
push another map.
this might be
It's always been scary
the,
for General
what's the
Waves.
word?
But it is what
Insane
it is,
isn't
man. It was
the right
actually a
word,
very
but
hard match,
it's
for
the
General Waves and
most
Boston going into major, 'cause I think this could
fallacious
guarantee- pretty much
fucking
guarantee them win this bracket. But yeah, General Waves get it done.
community I've
Joe,
ever come
fucking
across. Like
natural,
even
and Dante had a
leftists,
really good series. Or
which
not
I would say
natural,
the
sorry.
overlap here would be probably 1-to-1, would be like 99%.
Was due for a stinker because I think
But
he's
the
just been very
fallaciousness, the
aggressive
lack of
for this team, so
argumentation,
he's allowed to
the
backseat a little bit.
epistemology,
Just to confirm, gentlemen,
Just-
will finish on
it's
the
not
second
present
and
at
fourth
all.
seeds.
Like wherever they're
Division
getting,
one, second and
it's
third,
not that where
Boston,
they're getting their arguments.
Jefferson, higher than third and
It's-
lower than- so both
They're
of them are
giving you a
locked in.
sentence. Like they could just tell you what happened in the
So,
movie,
so good to your point. Wasn't important series in both teams.
and it's
We'll be,
like
anyways,
that's
round one,
their
Donnie.
argument. They're not gonna explain how
For me, it's kind of
that
similar. Obviously,
fits
it's a little
their
closer, but
point.
similar to the LAT.
It's like, oh wow, he probably wouldn't have done anything if she wasn't acting weird. Yeah, no shit. No one would have fucking, no one would have noticed anything odd.
Struck a nerve.
Yeah, because I was fucking reading some of this shit today too, dude. It's so dumb.
Oh damn, dog! You were reading some of it, dog. Fair.
Do it or just put it away. Like snipe random shit.
Another comment is saying this is a cautionary tale that wait. This is a cautionary tale that commentates on many modern guys actually.
So things like that, it's like so they're just not
How
just sitting there.
modern
Like, I
what?
feel like
Guys
that's the
is
main
what?
problem on like where they play friends. Like they're legit
So it says
just
this is a
sitting
cautionary
there.
tale
And
that
then,
commentates
obviously, as
on
time
many
goes down, they
modern
have to make a
guys
fucking play,
actually.
But, like, you don't have that much time to make a play, so then obviously the team reads you. So just something to throw out there, because I feel like that can definitely help them just make more fucking plays. Don't be afraid to lose, because if you're
Yeah,
afraid to
dog.
lose, you're just gonna lose it anyways, right?
But we're gonna look at a couple
You
of
might be the only person
Yeah,
who
we could
doesn't
but
think
Boston,
this way,
W
dog.
for them. Obviously, they're fucking awful, but they made one back
I'm
for the
sorry,
first
that's
time in this whole year. So that's
either receive a good argument or one that isn't just filled with assertions.
yeah, they're fucking terrible.
Whoa.
Teach terrorized me for 550 today. I picked him in S&D.
Basically,
for the second time in a row, he dropped a 4-bomb.
the
Like,
logic
fuck,
they're
and he texted me good morning,
running
happy
under
Juneteenth.
is one, Bear knew everything that was going on from the beginning. He knew that the wish would be granted from the beginning before he wished for it.
So shit, that's a great accomplishment. That's how it was on Vegas Legion.
They make it seem like he controlled what exactly came of the wish, how the wish was granted, and then what would happen. Basically, they make him basically seem like he's like an X-Men that can like see the future and like basically control
There's
shit.
some players in the league like Joe and Simp.
He's
like,
basically
obviously
that
he's
guy
not
from
like that.
the
So it's just when you're on a
Thunderbolts.
team where like
fucking shadow
your second
guy.
best player, or your best player is Afro, Chris is probably the second best
Like
player.
this on
Like
the
it's
bench.
just not enough, you know.
This
It's
thing's
just
like
always hard to judge, like when your team is just
What the fuck is
completely
his name?
outmatched.
this is
Century?
He's got a protocol
It's
that's
either
being
Century or
talked
Century.
I think it's a Century.
Yeah, or he'll be back with the Bush, which is a good spot for him. So we'll see.
Like, they think that just because they know something because they're watching the movie, that the fucking character in the movie should know as well. Yeah, that's how dumb these people are. It's actually
and
fucking
they
weird.
built all type of shit. So like after all the like moving and shit,
Yeah, bro.
it's like he's just getting booked in the league by Simp. We could be playing against fucking Vikram. So yeah.
that's crazy. Well, from the
Just being honest, bro. Making more money.
It's like, they're like, oh, he
from the
you know,
Bush
raped her.
search,
It's
let's
like,
get your thoughts going.
in the
So,
movie,
This was definitely good for gentlemen.
you're gonna tell me every time, even if he did get consent from
Wait, hold on.
the evil Nikki, that it's still a just it doesn't make sense.
There's going to be 30, 40,000
Okay, so
people in this arena.
I think I found one one person amongst the sea of many who say otherwise, but so just to remind you, the title of the thumbnail, or the fucking text in the thumbnail says, "Crazy how Bear would have kept Nikki like this if she didn't start acting crazy." And then one of the comments says, "Of course he would have, anyone would have without the negative stuff that happened." Okay, so he's basically saying what you would say. And then some person replied, and they say, no, not anyone, everyone would have just continued. Doesn't matter if she's the way he wants her. If that was the case throughout, he's still taking away her autonomy, choices, and raping her. Normal people would realize that and try to stop the wish, because we know that even if you're getting the desired result, it's completely unethical.
It was a great time. I love those guys. These are my boys. But yeah, this is back to
See, so, like I said, that comment. Yeah. Link it to me. In that comment, even though I don't remember everything you said, they're implying and asserting that he knows everything that's going on and knows that it's real. Why would it, first of all, why would anyone assume their fucking wish is granted? That doesn't make sense, first of all.
Hold on. Okay, let's say you and I, right?
What do you mean, Sam? What do you mean?
We're like in a car, and we see a fucking chick, or like, I don't know, it's like a chick that I really
Hey, you
fucking
never know
like,
the draw. You guys never know.
and you're there to witness it. And let's say I have one of those one wish willows, and let's say you witness me make a wish, oh, I wish this chick loved me. And then all of a sudden, she just comes over and she's basically in love with me. Would you still be like, oh no, that's just like...
Well, is this a chick that you've never met before, or a chick that you know?
Let's just say it's a chick we know. Or like that, that I know or whatever. Would you think her, right after I make the wish, right after I make the wish, her coming over and basically falling in love with me, would you just think that's happenstance? You wouldn't think it's anything more than a coincidence?
Well, if it's the context of the movie where like it's not obvious right away that she's crazy into it. Like she basically wants to stay at his house because you know, there are things potentially going on at home.
Eventually kind of ends up in a
she just ends up staying
out, or like he's not really able to challenge the bombs down, and they sort of
at least
that point is a possibility.
So like that's a bit different because
you see the video?
That seems like an abrupt. That's more of like an abrupt. Like flip. That's not how it's portrayed in the movie.
They should have opened it up for him.
Hold on, I'll actually screenshot the fucking.
I don't think that makes sense for him to just know
comment.
But also, let me just grant your scenario. If I'm operating in reality, or at least the reality that I know of, I wouldn't assume that it wouldn't be, the wish wouldn't have been granted. I would think that I know that it hasn't been granted, because that doesn't seem like a real thing. So the fact that all these people, especially in the context of the movie, which isn't even as wouldn't be as
I just sent you the screenshot of the comment if you want to read it.
Which it wouldn't be as noticeable even as your scenarios. They're all assuming he knows everything at all times. Not only that, that he made the wish. Okay, so they're... let me pause this. What?
Okay. No, it's just funny.
Okay, so when they say, when people call him a villain, by definition, unless they're asserting things which were not stated or implied in the movie, they don't know what villain means, because by definition, a villain has to have malicious intent, and he didn't have malicious intent in that film. You can't even argue that even after he's basically been held.
What about Thanos though?
Huh?
What about Thanos though? Wasn't his intent to like save the galaxy? Like, would you consider it a malicious intent, even though he's clearly a villain?
Well, I would say
Nice.
he's a villain, and it's still malicious intent just because his reasoning isn't malicious, or his reasoning in his head isn't malicious doesn't mean that it's not malicious.
So couldn't you apply the same logic to Bear, though?
No, because would you say that hoping or wishing someone liking you is that by itself malicious?
No, not in itself, but if in that scenario, right, where it's just you, me, and then the chick. Obviously, I know it's not directly parallel to the movie, but if we both realize, like, at the very beginning, would you say I'm being villainous if we both knew that she's basically not acting with her own will at that point? She's basically just being, her choices being usurped by the wish or whatever. Would you say I could be categorized as a villain?
Well, but that doesn't by default make it malicious, though. That would just make it selfish, which selfish doesn't by default make it malicious. That's why there's a difference between an anti-hero and a villain. Like, Deadpool is selfish, Venom is selfish. Now, he can be the villain, but in, let's say, the Venom movies with Tom Hardy, he's an anti-hero because he's selfish and he does bad things to people.
Sure, but if I'm selfish, but in the process of doing that, I violate somebody else's rights, couldn't that be considered going from just like a simple anti-hero to somebody who is, you know, like pretty like evil or a villain or whatever?
Well, there are two aspects to that. One, why wouldn't that just still be selfish? And two, it's still the intent behind it. So just because you're doing something doesn't mean that you have an ulterior motive that is present in order to harm the person. So, like, let me put it this way. Let's say there are two scenarios, right? One scenario, I have a cut on my leg and someone else has a cut on my leg, and there's only one Band-Aid.
Somebody else has a cut on your leg? You mean their leg?
Their leg, yeah, obviously. I have a cut on my leg, they have a cut on their leg, and there's only one Band-Aid. And let's even say it's their Band-Aid, but I steal it to put it on my cut. That wouldn't necessarily be malicious. That would just be very selfish and inconsiderate, all those things, right? But let's say I didn't have the cut at all, but they have the cut, and I still take the Band-Aid specifically so they can't use it and can't cover their cut. That would be malicious intent. There's no reason, even selfish reason, for me to take it. I'm just taking it in order for them to be, for them to not have it. So if you were to apply that to the movie, in order for it to be malicious,
who has the cuts and who has the Band-Aids in that scenario?
So I'll apply it to the movie. If he didn't want her to leave. I just want to see if it
maps to the movie
well. If he didn't want her to leave just because he wants to maybe make it so she doesn't become successful or get to be happy or get to fulfill anything or experience anything, but there's no actual, even selfish reason for him to do that, then that would be malicious. If you wanted to hold her back just to basically see her fail, that would be malicious. In the movie, it's not even portrayed that he doesn't want her to leave. He just wants to kind of like either ask her out or admit that he likes her before she leaves. So
Okay.
even if the hope is that maybe she stays because they're together, it's because he likes her and wants to be with her. And there's no, I'm 99% sure there's no overt line or anything that states that if they did get together that he could move with her. So it's not like he wanted to, he used the wish or hoped with the wish that she would get trapped with him. There's like, to me there's nothing conveying that. So where these people get things like that, where he basically just wanted to take her autonomy away, it's like I don't think that's even portrayed in the movie. I don't
What
even.
what if the director of the movies has that same line of thought though? Like, what if the creator himself said, no, like, Bear is like the bad guy here?
Well, like he states that he's the villain, like even over the entity that kills two people.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically. What would you think then?
I guess the mind of the creator would overthrow what people's theories are, what their interpretation is. But then, in a way, that would also aid my argument, which it's not even. I didn't actually come up with the argument. I just saw people making this argument, and then it made themselves. It made them contradict themselves when they state that he's an incel, even though apparently they're asserting that Sarah had a crush on him, and that the director said that Nikki had a secret crush on him. So now every chick in his life apparently has a crush on him, but he's involuntary celibate. That's by definition not involuntary celibate. That's why when women call themselves involuntary celibates, we're like, no, you can literally go outside and get fucked. That's the opposite of being involuntary celibate.
Whoa!
That's voluntary celibacy. So I guess I would have to grant it if he did come out and say that, but the reason why he would have to come out and say that is because it's not overtly stated in the movie. Just like most, I'll say this: no one that I've argued against, who hasn't explicitly heard it from the director, didn't know that Nikki had a crush on him secretly. So there's no indication in the movie that that's the case. And I think he actually did a good job of that, because I think there are at least a couple overt lines where it's like, Nikki says, whenever I like a guy, he never knows. And she says that to Bear. And I think she says one other thing, I can't remember what it is.
Look at the screenshot I sent you.
What, on Discord?
Yeah. I'll just be sending it on Discord.
You sent two? Which one?
Yeah, the latest one, like the newest one I sent.
So he kidnapped. She asked to go to his house and then wouldn't leave. So, if anything, she hijacked his house. Like, I've told you this before. She wouldn't leave, and she doesn't allow him to leave without coming back, or allow him to tell her to go back to her place. And he has to sleep in the same bed as her, or else she'll fucking flip out and grab a knife. So he didn't kidnap her.
Dog, what do you say to this next one, dog?
Enslave. I would say that's.
Read the next one aloud.
Kidnapped. I think the most telling scene in the movie is when Nikki cuts Bear's hair. Well, yeah, before I read the rest, people are like, that's because she was going to kill him. And wakes up and is so upset and put off that she did that to him. Without his consent, when he took all her... And she has no choice.
Darn.
See? When he took all her...
You stated that.
See? That's just asserting that, he, like... Okay.
Didn't he, though?
But, like, how would that be relevant if he either didn't have that motive and didn't know that's what would and was happening?
Damn dog.
And yeah, he's actually bringing up a good scene that people like them, or that's a woman, of course. Where I didn't think of this in the first place. I thought it was just them conveying how weird she is and how sort of like psychopathic and dangerous she is, that she cut his hair in his sleep. Because that's usually, you know, what serial killers do in horror movies.
Oh, dog. There's another one.
So people were like, the real Nikki was gonna kill him, but then the crazy Nikki woke up and then just cut his hair. So I was actually like, that's interesting. So now, before Bear even realizes what's happening, she's trying to kill him. Wouldn't that make her a bad person too?
Yeah, but dog, this guy said this in response to what you're saying, though, dog.
The Dead Cat Reveal was a movie. I find it interesting because you're gonna tell me when his cat died, people didn't feel bad. They were just like, "Oh, this guy's a piece of shit for allowing that to happen." No one, I guarantee you, no one did that until hindsight. Literally, no one.
Damn, dog.
Dude, really start willing to get some glimpse.
There you go, dog. That's what they're gonna say to your, oh, you didn't intend to do it.
And he gets a glimpse of her torment. So, see how he's just writing a very vague sentence with multiple assertions.
What's
and
vague?
Not. Well, dude realized he stole her will. Well, first of all, when...
But didn't he?
What? Like, near the end of the movie or very late in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dude realized he stole her will. Okay, when did that happen? Like, he's saying that it happened and not even what happened in the scene. So, like, I can't even look to a certain part of the movie where he would even be talking about. Because different people think he knows it at different points in the movie. So, like, I can't even get a consistent answer. And he gets a glimpse of her torment. So where would that... I don't even know where that would be. He's pretty much being tormented once she doesn't allow... Once she tapes his front door, that, like, she's already tormenting him by that point. So I can't remember how far it is in the movie, but he's going to work. She tapes the door while he's asleep. And then once he's gone, she stands in the same spot, pisses herself, and smiles at the door for hours.
Nice. She pisses herself, dude.
Yeah, I think even by the time he gets home, like, she does all this shit to the wall. Like, you know how Saw looks? Like the walls? Yeah. Like, she kind of makes the house look like that. And she won't allow him to leave. And if at one point he tells her that she should go back to her place, and like, it's almost like a demonic, like one of those, like, Conjuring kind of screams. and still insist on letting this crap persist. So like, so it's unbelievably vague to where like I can't refute an argument where I don't know what the argument is.
You against the world, dog.
It's me against literal nothing.
How does it feel knowing that given all the sentiment online, there's a good chance that the majority of the people in the movie theater who are watching the movie with you feel the exact same way, and you might be one of the few.
It makes
who
me
don't feel this way.
the same way I feel about when someone says ICE isn't a legitimate law enforcement agency. That's how I feel about it.
Damn, dude.
The same level of argumentation that I get with that is what people give me with this movie.
So would you say that this movie, it just reveals that people just hate dudes, hate lonely dudes?
Well, what did I tell you 2 days ago?
I can't even fucking remember.
32% of women aged 18 to 26 don't just dislike men, they hate men.
Damn.
Where only 7% of men hate women in the same age group. Yeah, like, but do you not kind of get what I'm talking about? The dead cat reveal was the movie quietly telling us this man should not be trusted with living things. No, to me, no. To me, that's a tragic part of the movie.
Yo, there's a funny. It's like a fucking not well. What the fuck? It's not viewed a lot. It only has like a couple hundred views. But is this fucking chick talking about the movie, and her title is "Obsession Proves Exactly Why Women Choose the Bear."
Obviously, try to kill that guy without dying, and then now you have a 4v2, and then boom. GG.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, dude.
All right, any other thoughts before we move on to the next clip?
Yeah, that's a good point. The people that choose the bear don't think the being that murders two people is the villain. It's a good point. It's actually a perfect representation.
Hey, do you think that's coincidence that he is called Bear? If he was called that, I feel like that's even more telling that this is probably a man-hating movie. Like, it's a man-hating propaganda movie. If there was...
But, okay...
I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but yeah, that's pretty poignant.
The people that don't already think like these people watched that movie and thought that it was actually a movie about realistic relationship dynamics, especially with young guys who don't know how to basically ask out women, especially that they like. That's what it is. Now, if I grant what you said, then that should make it easier for people to make arguments to where I wouldn't be able to refute it, where they just make assertions or just write vague sentences that I can't even respond to. I'll be back. I need to get my drink in the freezer. But no, to me it's pretty simple. He's even if you grant that the cat situation was his fault, which I don't think it is, he would at best be a very flawed anti-hero, at worst a selfish person. Now, to me, if you said Bear has the power to inflict these wishes onto people and can control the attributes and outcomes of said wish, then I would say 100% he is the villain. I would also say that him redeeming himself at the end, which, okay, before
I don't know if people would say he redeemed himself at the end.
Huh?
Well, would you think people would say he redeemed himself in the end?
No. And I was gonna go back to something that you read before, like probably a week ago, where someone said, where he doesn't even have the guts or whatever, he doesn't even have the courage to kill himself in the end. Do you remember reading that from a comment?
Yeah.
You remember
I
that?
I remember that. Yeah.
He literally does.
He kills himself?
He literally kills himself. Now, he has the choice between a gun, which, well, like, you could probably argue he's never used one, and he probably doesn't even know how to check if there's ammo in it. So, I feel like most people wouldn't have the guts to pull the trigger. So he overdoses on pills, and that's while she's making the wish with her own wish stick. So he comes out, they kiss, and then he dies in her arms like a minute after she makes the wish. And then that undoes the wish. Her wish, like the wish on her. So yes, he literally redeems himself.
Damn, dog.
No. He actually redeems himself. I remember verbatim them saying he didn't even fucking kill himself to stop the wish. And you remember reading that, because I remember you reading that. It was on stream.
Okay, I just want to ask you a question. Would you say Walter White redeemed himself?
Well, I would say he redeemed a relationship, a part of himself, with a relationship in his life. But I wouldn't necessarily say he redeemed everything. Like, he didn't redeem himself on.
Like, he ruined his family, right? Like, he
ruined his family, but
he got Hank killed.
After I'll compare it back to the movie. He can't redeem himself on making a substance that is unhealthy and possibly deadly to people. I don't know how many innocent people he overtly killed. I can't remember, but he did kill a bunch of gangbangers.
Definitely children. He poisoned a child, and then he participated in the murder of and disposal of another child.
Which was the child that he killed?
Well, he could have possibly killed Brock.
Yeah.
No, it's not Brock, but it's the kid on the bike or whatever, the motorcycle.
Or the BMX?
Yeah, like, I know Todd killed him, but, like, he really didn't give a shit.
Oh, the dirt bike in the desert. Yeah, okay. So I was thinking of the gangbanger kid. Yeah, so there are things that he can't be redeemed for. And one reason I would say that is he redeems himself with his relationship with Jesse. He didn't with his wife because he died without, like, in context of his wife.
Would you say he redeemed his relationship with Jesse?
Maybe not fully, but he allowed himself to die in order to free Jesse because he knew that he probably even though he was going to die anyway, I still think it slightly redeems him. Which I'm saying that Walter White is less redeemed than Bear, by the way. I'm not saying Walter White is fully redeemed at all. He at least slightly redeems himself with Jesse because he basically gives his life. Either whether you can argue it's to free Jesse or it just happened to be that way because he wanted revenge or something. Sure. Either way, he still allows Jesse to leave by basically killing Emmett himself. Where in the movie.
Just let me say one thing after you're done. Yeah, go ahead.
But with the movie, the whole reason why people say that he's the villain is because, you know, he takes her autonomy and makes her a slave or whatever, which by killing himself reverses that. So everything that, even if I grant everything that happened in the movie is 100% because of him, everything, at least regarding Nikki and the demon of how it controls her, by him killing himself stops all of that. So it's like with what's his name, Walter, by killing himself, it doesn't undo the damage. Like it doesn't stop like all the fucking drug trafficking and all that. At least that he's done, because there's still a massive market for it. The people that he killed and his wife and his family, that's all not redeemed. But at least in the movie, when he kills himself, all of that is either stopped or reversed.
Okay. Just going back. Now, do you... Let's see if I can remember this. I think, yeah, it's related to, like, what some of those comments I sent said. Would you say he only gave a shit because the negative effects were starting to affect him? It's not really he really gave a shit about Nikki or whatever. It's only when she started to get out of hand for him, and now his life might be in danger, that he's just like, okay, now I gotta undo the wish. It's the idea that like kind of like what they're alluding to. He actually doesn't care about Nikki's autonomy or whether you know, she's like actually her or not, as so long as he gets what he wants. It's only when, I don't know, the side effects manifest that he's just like, oh fuck.
Well, I'll answer that in two parts. I'll answer it in the whether he cares for her or just his image regarding her or in public or whatever. I'll answer that, and then I'll answer the whether was the context whether he cared about the autonomy or was it different? What was that part of your question?
So I'm saying, do you think what they're trying to say, like the people in the comments, what they're trying to say is he only did all that shit to end the curse or whatever, end the wish, because it started to personally affect him? It's not so much, oh, he sees Nikki hurting herself or whatever. It's just, it's reflecting bad on him, and she's starting to scare him that he now feels threatened. So then he tries to end the wish? Or is it, oh, I see that I'm doing something wrong, and therefore I want to end it? Not, oh, this isn't working out the way I wanted it to. She's not being the way I wanted, therefore I end it.
He felt threatened way before he went to go end the wish. So I don't think it was just because he felt threatened. And he definitely did care that even that she was doing stuff to herself, because every time she did something to herself, he would always say, you can't do that to yourself, like you can't hurt yourself, all that stuff. And then I would say he was probably more lenient on stuff with the cat and anything that she did to him than when she did something to herself.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
how would your viewpoint change, or would it change at all if he called that service guy and he managed to fix it, and you know he still had the wish, but now she wasn't acting weird? Would your views on him change at all?
Well, he would still definitely be selfish. I don't know if I would call him a villain at that point.
Don't you think though, like him doing that is basically an admission that he knows she's no longer, she no longer has autonomy at that point, and you know she's basically like a slave? Isn't that kind of like an admission from him during that scene? Like if he did manage to fix the wish, and wouldn't that basically be yeah, like villainous or whatever?
But then that's where the intent comes in, because if the intent is
yeah,
him,
no.
If the intent is
I
him,
just want to know what you would think of that.
yeah, no, if the intent of him, or if the intent is him wanting them to be together, or her to like him because he likes her and he wants to be with her, then that would be selfish. Where if he wanted to keep the wish to not for her to like him, but for him to control her and or take her autonomy away and or not allow her to go to wherever she wants to go to become a writer.
But what's the difference in that circumstance though? Like if he knows that either way, regardless of whether he just wants to hurt her or keep her chained up, or he just wants her to like him, in both situations, isn't he taking away her autonomy? Regardless of whether it's malicious intent or selfish intent?
But then
like, doesn't he know?
But that's what defines a villain, though. Is you have to have specific descriptors in order for it to make a villain.
Okay, wait, hold on. So, you're saying just because he genuinely wants her to be with him, and fixing the wish, it's not villainous?
Not unless it's, well, yeah, under that context, yeah.
What, like, what? I don't understand. Like, what was the distinction you were trying to make, like, of him being selfish versus being malicious, in the scenario where, if he fixed the wish, it would be an admission that he knows that she no longer has any autonomy. Like in both circumstances, right? Like, both versions of Bear, whether the one is malicious or one is just selfish. I mean, at the end, don't they both just equal villain? Because they have the knowledge that, okay, yeah, so this wish thing is real, and this demon thing or whatever fixed it, so all the bugs and glitches were taken out of it, and it's just exactly what I want.
So you're saying that the selfishness and the malicious intent is the same?
In that scenario, if he knows that wish is real, right, and he knows that it can be fixed to a point where she's no longer acting weird, right? In both cases,
so what's an anti? So
what
would be an anti-hero in that scenario then?
I don't know what I don't know. I honestly don't know what an anti-hero is. Some people say Walter's an anti-hero. Deadpool's an anti-hero. Like, I don't genuinely know what the line is.
Well, one reason why Deadpool is an anti-hero is because he doesn't necessarily have any positive moral base, and he's a very selfish character, but he doesn't outright do things with malicious intent to innocent people.
Okay, let's say, okay, I want to ground this a bit more, okay? Let's say Bear existed in real life, right? And he was your friend, right? He was your friend and my friend, right? And let's say he fancied your sister, right? And he made the wish. And then you immediately notice your sister is completely out of character. She's just, obsessed over this guy. And then he finally tells you, when she starts glitching out and she, starts going crazy, he confides in you. He's just like, look, I made this wish. I called the fucking guy. Apparently, it's a real thing. I can end the wish, right? Like he'll let me end the wish, right? And so like you're with him when he makes the call, right? And he says to you, yeah, he'll end the wish, but then he's just like, I don't want to end the wish. I just want to make it so she's not crazy, and he does that. What do you think of that guy right there? What are you thinking of him?
Yeah, okay, I
in that
could think
moment?
he's yeah, I could think he's a terrible person, but by definition,
Okay, but then isn't that basically my argument though? Like why is it?
But
Would you
just
call him an
because,
anti-hero though?
but just because he's a terrible person, that doesn't make him a villain. Like he could still be an anti-hero.
But why would you? So you wouldn't think of him as a villain if it was your own sister, and he basically just took away her autonomy. Where he had the opportunity to end the wish.
Well, by definition, he
didn't.
wouldn't be, but I could make him my villain, but that would just be my own.
Okay, but why your villain? Like, if it's not
Because
adhering to
that
the
would
definition, why is he a
make
villain
me
in your view?
emotional. So that's why
It would make you emotional because you recognize something is wrong, right? You recognize something as morally wrong, right?
Yeah, anti-heroes
So then
are
what? Then why? But okay, but why are you making a distinction between an anti-hero and a villain though?
Because they're different.
If something is wrong. But
By-
what does that
by-
matter
by
to you
defini-
though in that situation?
What do you mean?
Like that's what I'm trying to understand. Like I don't understand. Like in that situation, if I call him a villain, but you say no, he's an anti-hero or whatever. I just want to understand what that is. I want to know like exactly what
An anti-hero would
his character.
it's
makes
him
him an
being
anti-hero.
selfish and using morally questionable tactics and
Right, yeah, I get that. But what's the hero part of the situation though? He could have been a hero. He could have ended it, right? But I'm saying in this situation,
at the end he
didn't.
does.
No, I'm saying like in the situation I laid out, like where he had the opportunity to end it, but he chose to just fix the wish, but not end it. Like, what's the hero part in that situation? Isn't that just pure villainous? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand, though.
Well, do they technically have to be redeemed all the time? Like anti-heroes don't have to be redeemed.
So you're gonna call him an anti-hero if he keeps your sister enslaved.
But it
and he
wouldn't
had the
actually
opportunity to
matter
free her.
what I call him because I would be in an emotional state, so I could call him fucking Hitler and reincarnated. That wouldn't matter.
So, wait, you're gonna stick to this even after?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
he's
logically
enslaved your sister?
consistent. I'm gonna be logically consistent. Yes. Just like how I say,
Okay, all right, but tell
if I
me-
was
tell
accused
me
of
what
rape,
is
I don't think
heroic,
my
though.
sister should just automatically believe me because she should be consistent. If she's not going to believe someone else, she shouldn't believe me unless there's evidence. Yes, consistency.
Except in this situation, there is no reason to doubt, right? Like, he told you that the wish is real, and let's assume
Even if he knows
know,
it's
he
real, it
basically-
still doesn't make him a villain. Even if he knows it's real, that wouldn't make him a villain by definition.
I don't know if I can get with that. So, if he explained this to you, right? And he said, "Look, I made this wish. It turns out it's true. That's why your sister is acting. She's no longer even the same person that you know. She's just what I wanted her to be. Turns out I can end the wish, but I'm going to be selfish and not end it. Just fix the bugs so she doesn't kill herself or whatever. But she's still basically gonna be,
Well,
just
why would it only be
especially-
him being selfish though? Why wouldn't it him being maybe not maybe you wouldn't use the word malicious in that sort of scenario, but why wouldn't it be something like that?
Okay, wait, hold on. What are you asking?
So that's him explaining that, oh, I'm gonna keep it, like I'm gonna be selfish and keep the wish, right? That's like
Yeah, yeah.
you
Okay.
indirectly quoting it. Why would he use that phraseology? If it is malicious, unless he's actively trying to lie to me, because then that would change the hypothetical.
Right. Is like I'm talking about the hypothetical where
Yeah.
he chooses to keep her.
So
I don't
is he
understand,
doing it
like, what was the
because he's being selfish, or because he's like is he doing it for the same reasons Bear is, or is he doing it because he wants to control her?
Well, the situation is, well, he just wants her.
He wants her
Like,
because he likes / loves her,
he want-
and he wants her to do the same.
Yeah,
So is that malicious?
knowing that it's not her choice.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if he's not intending
No, but in that
to.
scenario, right? I made it clear that.
But
he
the
does
reason
know,
he's
right?
doing
and he
it needs to be
he can stop
malicious.
it.
That still wouldn't be a malicious reason. Like I said with the Band-Aid
so
analogy. If I didn't need the Band-Aid, let's say if I didn't like her, or he didn't like her.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm gonna role play here, okay? You play yourself. I'm gonna play the dude.
Let me make it clear.
Hey, Brock.
If
Wait, hold on. I just want to hear what you would be like in this situation, okay? Hey, Brock. Like I know you've noticed like your sister is acting weird. She's like hurting herself. But here's the deal. I made a wish, and she's basically not. She's not the same person she is because she's kind of under the influence of this wish, which basically dictates her entire life. I wished for her to love me, and yeah, it's got some bugs. I could end the wish. I found out I just have to call this number, this demon or whatever. He'll undo the wish. Do you want me to undo the wish? What would you say to that?
yeah, I would tell him I want him to undo it. Yeah.
Okay. Ring. Hi. Yeah. So there's a bit of a problem with the wish I made. Could you just like work out the kinks? I still want her to love me and all that. Yeah, I don't really need all the side drama. Okay, thanks. Cool. Okay, Brock. Turns out I didn't want to end the wish. I still want her to kind of just be my slave. Yeah. So I'm sorry. She won't hurt herself anymore, but she's still gonna be with me. Okay. She's still gonna basically be subordinate to me basically for the rest of her life. That's cool, bro?
Well, you explicitly said that he's doing it because he wants her to be a slave. That's a bit different.
Well, what is she then? Like if she has no choice in the matter, right? And he's basically just robbing her of all the other possibilities of meeting up.
Okay.
But isn't that what it is?
No, it's not.
If he knows, if he keeps the wish, if he keeps the wish going, at that same moment, he knows that he's basically eliminating all other possibilities in her life, right? He's closing her off. He's caging her, basically.
But that
I don't understand why.
Okay.
Isn't he basically caging her?
Okay.
Okay, what if a fat chick wished for you to love her? What if a fat, ugly chick wished for you to love her? I'm just saying, what if, like, you're the person?
Okay.
What if the most ugly, okay, and let's say you're still in there. You're still in there somewhat, but you're not in control, right? And let's say she has the opportunity to break the wish, or
yeah, her breaking it or not
bugs.
breaking it, by the same logic, would not make her a villain. It would just make her selfish. Now, if that same fat chick...
But she's violating your rights.
Yeah, that would still just be selfish. If that same fat chick said...
honestly, I just feel like this is like a language thing. I just feel like you're caught up on the language. Like if somebody's
because words
turning you into a slave,
have meanings, right?
I mean, sure, but like if somebody's basically usurped your will, and they're not considered a villain for doing that.
Have they usurped your will by a byproduct of the wish, or are they usurping the will because that was their primary objective? with the wish. That is
Initially,
the
no,
difference.
but no.
It doesn't
No,
matter
no,
if he
no.
becomes aware of it. That still would just make him selfish.
Why? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? If he becomes aware that his initial wish
Because unless his
usurps somebody's will and he still keeps it in place, how's that not malicious? How's that not evil?
Because unless his goal has changed, his entire framework still stays the same. It's still the same logic as before.
So his awareness of the power of the wish doesn't change
that would just
anything in
make
your
him
mind?
that would just further prove that he's selfish.
Okay, and so nothing else on top of that, no extra weight of morality on that.
Yeah, he could be
Still the same thing.
he would be at minimum a morally flawed person, if not a morally bad person, but that would still fit the
Okay, so
definition
morally,
of an
okay, wait,
anti-hero.
what's okay? Like, I don't want to do this anti-hero thing. What is the thing that's making him morally bad in that situation? What is the thing that makes him a morally
That he's
bad
not
character?
withdrawing it. But that would still
Okay,
fit
but why
under
is that bad
selfish.
though? But why is he not? Why is he bad for not ending the wish?
Well, because at that point he knows that it's not actually her in control.
But he still insists on her being a slave, basically.
Yeah, that would still just be selfish.
So he wants to keep us. So wait, if somebody can own a slave, they can still be considered an anti-hero?
Oh, by definition, I would, yeah.
No, man, fuck these definitions, dude. I'm just asking you. like,
Okay,
what
well
do
then,
you feel?
okay, well then there's no meaning for anything. If we're not using words by their definition, then what the fuck's the point of the fucking argument?
Okay, so in the situation where the guy fucking enslaves your sister, he's an anti-hero for you.
Okay, an anti-hero doesn't need to be a
yes or
hero.
no. I'm asking you, is he an anti-hero for you?
To me,
Why does it matter whether it's for you or somebody else? If everybody knows the facts,
because it would be different. Because for me,
why, though?
I would have
I
a different
understand it's your
outlook on it
family
because
member.
it's affecting me.
No, you said you'd still maintain a logical,
No.
a logical outline with your definitions. What makes it
Yeah,
different?
yeah, from looking at it from the outside, but me being in the situation, that would affect me differently, so my outlook on it would be different. That doesn't make the actual truth of the matter different.
Okay, so I mean, if some stranger came up to you and said, "Oh, he's not like a villain, dude. He's just an anti-hero," you wouldn't technically have an issue with that because it's the quote-unquote truth for you.
Well, even if I did have an issue with it, like, what would that even change?
Well, you wouldn't like say, "Well, that's just a bunch of bullshit. He enslaved my sister. This guy is not a fucking anti-hero. There's nothing anti-hero about him. He's just a fucking villain." And he had the opportunity to fucking free her, but he didn't. How's that not villainous?
Okay, well then I just don't know. Even reading what a villain is, I don't know what a villain is.
Asking what you think in that situation.
And I'm
Do
saying
you
that
think he's villainous for doing that?
I would probably think he is, but that would just because I would be in an emotional state. Because he would be my enemy at that point. That's why he would be a villain to me. That's why.
But I don't understand. If somebody had done that to somebody else, let's say he fucking enslaved my fucking mom or whatever. You're obviously not as emotionally tied into it. Would you really say, he's an anti-hero to me? You wouldn't call him a fucking villain?
Well, I probably wouldn't use either of those words. I would just say he's a shitty person.
Well, why though? Why? If it's logically consistent.
Because I just wouldn't use that
But why?
verbiage. Because I don't use those
But why?
words.
Why don't you use them?
I don't know. They're not really words that I use. Like when I describe Darth Vader, I just say he's the bad guy.
Right, would you say Darth Vader would be more villainous if he didn't save Luke and just let him die? Like if he didn't, quote-unquote, like redeem himself in the end? Would he not then just be the villain and not an anti-hero?
If he let his son die, yeah.
How is that different than the dude not freeing the fucking girl or whatever, your sister in this scenario?
Because that's not analogous. What would be more analogous is Darth Vader trying to turn his son to the dark side. That would be more analogous. Trying to force him to turn to the dark side. Because what Vader was going to do, he was going to put him in carbonite and then basically trap him in order to turn to the dark side, which that would be villainous because there is malicious intent. He's actively, knowingly kidnapping someone and then turning them to become evil. So not only is he doing something malicious, but he's forcing someone else to do said malicious thing as well.
Well, isn't this guy forcing your sister to be someone she's not?
But this is already after the fact that it's been established. Now, okay, so
what exactly has been established?
Before he made the okay, first of all, there would be two things.
Not the movie, just the scenario.
Yeah.
About. This is...
In this scenario, two things. Was he aware of this before he made the wish initially?
No, but he came to learn it.
So he came to learn it. So
yeah.
And the militia now, and what's his intent? He wants to keep her enslaved, or he wants them to be together, because making that distinction isn't just necessary, but it's necessary. So is it that he wants to enslave her, or is that he wants them to be together? Because those are two different things.
Okay, let's say he wants her to just remain in love with him, but would that objectively change the circumstances?
That would
for the woman?
That would objectively change the circumstance, from my subjective viewpoint, it would.
Okay, but from the viewpoint of the person who's had the wish set upon them, like, does it change? Because the movie establishes that they're still in the body. It's just they're not in control. They're basically their will is literally usurped.
Okay, so I'll compare it to another part of the movie where she asks him to kill her to, I guess, like, get her out of that torment. Is there a distinction between him killing her to stop it, stop the curse and all that, between him killing her because he wants to kill her just to kill her? Is there a distinction between that?
Say it again. Sorry, I was reading something. Say it again.
So in the scenario in the movie, she asks him to kill her while the real Nikki's awake and the demon Nikki is asleep. She asks him to kill her so it can all stop, so she could whether be free or not have to deal with it. So would him killing her to free her out of that state, would that be different from him killing her because he wants to kill her? Is there a distinction between those two?
Why is she asking to be killed?
Because she's either being tortured, tormented, or whatever. She's
as a result of what, though? As a consequence of what, though?
But why would this actually matter to my question?
No. I just want to hear the answer. I'll say further. I just want to know what the consequence of it is.
The consequence, like, so the consequence of what?
What was her wanting her to kill herself a consequence of?
Her being taken over by some fucking demon, due to a wish.
Okay. Let's go back to my scenario, right? Because I didn't want to talk about what happens in the movie, right? I just want to relate it to the scenario I'm saying. What if one day you're in your house and the guy says, okay, he lets you know that, yeah, she's under the wish's control or whatever. I'm thinking about changing it. Just let her stay at your place for tonight. And let's say you overhear her saying, just kill me, right? And then let's say the next day, the guy, you tell him like, yo, she's saying like to kill herself, like she wants to fucking die. And he's like, yeah, I know, like she said that when she was at my place. I'm gonna go call the guy up, right? What if he doesn't end the wish there? Like, what would you say to that? So you know that she's basically in torment, but he still keeps the wish in place. So
Now,
that's factually showing you that she's trapped, right? Like she isn't herself. She's trapped in that body as long as the wish is still in place. So it's not her will that's leading her life at that point. Guy chooses to keep the wish in place. What does that make him? Knowing that she's basically in constant torment.
so it is actually interesting how you brought up objective versus subjective before, because that, like, that would still just make him a bad person, a selfish person, but the intent still is not there. So now, just because
well, he intends not to ever have her free will again.
well, then that's a different distinction now, though.
How is that a different distinction? If he edits the wish to just edit out like the side bugs, but he still wants her to love him unconditionally forever.
Because
he's still insisting on her basically forgoing her own will.
Because the intent of
he knows that intentionally making the edit to the wish. That's what I'm saying. Like he would have to know that in the back of his head, so he knows it. He knows that she'll still be a slave, but she just won't hurt herself now. She'll still be his, but she's not a danger to herself.
Okay, but what did you say before? The way that you worded it made it sound like... So, just because that is an entailment of the scenario doesn't mean that's the intent. And just because he knows about it doesn't mean that that is part of the intent.
How does that not factor in? I don't understand that.
Because if you kill someone because you wanted to kill them and you wanted them to suffer, that's different than them potentially doing something to harm you and you killing them, because they're technically still going to be suffering because you're still killing them. But the
Is
intent
there a
was
distinction
different.
between killing and enslaving in this situation? Are they not both morally wrong?
Yeah, but doing something morally wrong doesn't automatically make you a villain.
Sure, but he knows that the wish is going to be lifelong, so she'll never be the same person again. And he has the opportunity to prevent that, but he chooses not to. Isn't that
that's
a definition of...
So
that's not a villain. That's not a villain to you.
Well, having that knowledge is just a part of the scenario. That's not the... Now, if he's intending, yeah, I want her to be enslaved for me forever. That's different.
Why does it make a difference, though? But why does that make a difference if he says, I want her to be a slave versus I want her to love me without these side effects? I know she doesn't have a will because she's like yelling in her sleep, free me, kill me. I just want her to love me. How is that not different? Or how is that different? I mean,
because that by itself, or that even knowing that, the intent is for her to love him more than anything in the world. It's not
right.
You're
at the
gonna
cost
be my
of
slave.
her autonomy. Yeah, but it's at the cost of her
But just
autonomy.
because it's at the cost, that doesn't
situation.
mean that that's the intent.
Yeah, but he knows that that's
Even
what
if
the
he has
cost
knowledge of it, that's what makes flawed characters flawed.
Okay, well, technically, every villain is flawed, right? That doesn't necessarily mean they're not a villain.
Yeah, but villains do things with malicious intent.
So him knowing ahead of time that she's never gonna have her own will again, that's not malicious?
That would be selfish. If he
what's the difference
knew
between
that,
selfish and malicious? Because you're making a distinction, and I don't understand what the difference is in that situation.
so let's grant that I can't even tell you the difference. So then there's no difference between a villain and an anti-hero.
Well, if you can't tell me the difference, then like how, like what? I just, if you can't tell me the difference, what is the distinction you're making when you say selfish versus malicious in this situation that I laid out?
If someone asks me to help them off the ground because they fell and I say no, let's say that's not even selfish. Let's just say that's a bitch move, right? That would just be either morally wrong or a bitch move, or depending on the scenario, it could be selfish. If they ask me to help them up off the ground, and I help them up off the ground, and then I kick them back on the ground, and then kick their feet out, that would be malicious. There's a distinction. There's a difference. There's a reason why there are different words to describe different things.
Okay, but can you map that onto this situation, though? The situation
I already have.
outlined with your sister? Okay, well, say it again, because I don't understand how that...
Because
that
if he was
maps
like,
on,
yeah,
obviously.
dude, I'm not gonna withdraw the wish because I want to keep her enslaved. I don't want her to have her autonomy, and I don't really give a shit about her. That would be malicious. If it's like, oh yeah, dude, I love her. I want to be with her forever. I want her to love me forever. And even whether or not he says like, I know, even if he said I know she may never have her autonomy, but I still want us to be together. That would still not be malicious because of the intent. Because with
if he intends her to love, but like I'm saying, if his intention is just for her to love, I understand that. But if he has the added knowledge that at the cost of that, she will lose basically her entire life as a human being, and just basically end up being a slave, even though he doesn't want her to be a slave, but as a consequence of the wish.
So then that would literally you just answered your own question. You don't even have to go further.
He has that knowledge in his head.
But what did you just say?
What did you
just say?
If he wants her to love him,
yeah,
right? But knowing that,
what was the other thing?
Well, you should just say it for me because I'm not.
Well, I don't exactly
remember
remember what you said, but he basically said like I don't remember what you said, but it had to do with him explicitly not wanting it to be him basically enslaving her. So he's actually going against what you require in order to make it malicious. That's him explicitly stating it.
No, I don't know what the definition of selfish versus malicious is. I'm just saying he's villainous.
Okay, well then
you're saying selfishness is different than maliciousness, and you say maliciousness is a requirement for being a villain, right? So that's why I just harped on malicious. If he knows by keeping the wish in power that she
within your own hypothetical, the updated hypothetical, you disproved it right away because
you're gonna have to point it out to me because I don't know what I disproved. I've been saying the exact same thing. No, dude.
No, I'll go back in the stream. I'll go back in the stream.
Okay, you can say it to me. All I've been saying is, if he knows that the power of the wish usurps somebody's will, and he still insists on basically enslaving them, and it's under the guise of, I just want her to love me, is that not malicious?
There's a distinction, there's a difference.
Get onto this situation though? I don't understand, why does selfishness and maliciousness have to be mutually exclusive for you?
I didn't.
It's like, I don't think it has to be one or the other. It could be both at the same time.
Yeah, the malicious person can be selfish. Yeah, I never said that. I never said it's a monolith.
Okay, so then why is he not a villain in that situation? Because it could be both.
It can be both because by definition, if it's both, he would be a villain.
Okay, so he's a
villain can
then,
have
right?
both. No.
Okay, but, okay, so is he a villain? So he's not being malicious?
No, he's being selfish. Like, do you not know?
If you usurp somebody's will, and you know for a
What's
fact
the
you're
reason?
usurping somebody's will, and even if you're selfish, doesn't that also make it malicious?
No, because that's the selfish part. That's what
is he not causing harm to her?
Well, he's not. His intention isn't to cause harm, though.
Dude.
I'm not gonna withdraw the wish because I want to keep her enslaved.
So he's not a villain.
I don't want her to have her autonomy, and I don't really give a shit about her. That would be malicious. If it's like, oh yeah, dude, I love her.
I don't understand that, bro, but I don't know. I guess, yeah. I guess you're not gonna call the guy a villain who basically enslaves your sister.
I don't know what you're not understanding. Even if he said,
I'm trying to understand if
so
he's
selfish
both,
and malicious,
selfish and malicious.
are the same thing. There's no distinction, so every anti-hero is a villain then.
I didn't say it's the same thing. I've been asking you, are they mutually exclusive?
I never said that it's a monolith.
No, I didn't say you said anything. I'm asking you, whether they're mutually exclusive.
You started asking me that like a minute or two ago. A villain can be malicious and selfish, yes. If an anti-hero is malicious and selfish, then he's just a villain.
Okay, so that guy in your situation, he's just selfish, so he doesn't meet the criteria of a villain, even though he knows that what he's doing is causing harm to another person, and he's okay with that.
Would be selfish.
But so long as he...
never have her autonomy.
Okay, all right.
But I still want to...
That's pretty fucking crazy. So anybody who calls somebody a villain, who enslaves somebody else, that's just... They're just selfish, they're not villainous, they're not malicious.
So, with you, there's no distinction between...
I don't even know what these definitions of selfishness and maliciousness are. I'm just asking if he's villainous or not, and you're insisting that he's not a villain.
Okay, but then you would the entailment with that question would exactly be my problem with these people, where they're not using words correctly and they're not giving reasons why they're using said words. They're just using words to use them. It's like when people call
words to just use them.
Because that's like me calling you a fascist because you don't you fucking like that's just people throwing around words. It's like, oh, I'm racist because I don't want fucking illegal immigrants to enter the country. Doesn't matter what race they are.
I just don't understand, regardless of intent. If you enslave somebody,
regardless of intent, that's what makes someone a villain is the intent.
Right, but in his intent, it's baked in that he knows that she's going to be a slave. I don't understand how that person is now not considered a villain.
Because that's a byproduct of the scenario. It's not the goal of the scenario.
Yeah, and they still do it.
That's fine. It's not the goal of the scenario. That's why that's why words have meanings. That's why we have different words.
If the goal of the scenario was to enslave somebody, is that selfish or is that malicious? Is that villainous or is that anti-hero?
If the goal is to enslave someone, that would be malicious.
Okay, so in that situation, couldn't you argue that he's just trying to make a perfect slave?
Well, under what? Well, first of all, it wouldn't really matter, but under what standard?
Wait. First off, what do you mean? Why wouldn't it matter?
No. Like to my question that I was going to ask, it wouldn't matter, but to what standard? Because that's usually that's another attribute of a villain, is that they think what they're doing is just, even though what they're doing is immoral with malice. So yeah, that wouldn't make a difference.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to me in terms of the scenario, because I don't everything you just said. I don't understand what that meant.
You said the
Tap it
perfect
onto the
slave.
scenario so I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would still be malicious because of their subjective standard of perfect slave would still entail malice.
Still entail malice.
Yeah, because their goal is to enslave. That's their primary goal. It doesn't matter if they want to make them a good slave. It's like saying,
So,
I
okay,
want to
wait.
make that person a good dining room ornament when it's just their head. It's like, it's still malicious. You're just killing them just to have them as an ornament.
So, let's say in a situation where the woman is like glitching out, her will isn't fully subsumed. He makes edits to the wish to fully subsume their will. Is that malicious?
So you're saying that she doesn't pop out and become like normal Nikki, and he says, I explicitly want that to be withdrawn. I always want her to be the
I don't want her glitching out anymore. It's causing a headache.
Well, yeah, I would
Her
say
will
him,
isn't fully subsumed.
I would say him actively trying to dispose of the original Nikki actively would be malicious. But that's not what the entailment is in the movie.
No. Okay. This is perfect, right? You just said it. Him actively trying to, what'd you say, dispose of the real Nikki?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the scenario I laid out with your sister? Wasn't the guy doing exactly that?
Oh, what was the scenario? I don't remember.
He knew, he told you that he made the wish. Your sister was glitching out like Nikki. She was trapped in there. And then he made the edit to the wish, so she would no longer do that, so her will is fully subsumed. Now, you just said that would be malicious. Is that not the same thing?
Is that what your scenario was before? I
Yeah,
thought it was just he now knows that he does.
No, the scenario was
that
this.
he can keep
He
the wish.
knows. Yeah, no, the situation was he knows
That
the
he
wish
could
is real,
further that he
right?
could further the control.
No. I said he knows, he tells you. He calls the dude. He has the opportunity to end the wish. But he says, no, I just want to get rid of her, like, wonking out, glitching out. I don't care about ending the wish. Just make it so she doesn't do that anymore. And if he did that, wouldn't that be in line with what you just said, that would be malicious?
Okay. Maybe
I just
this
want to
is
hear a yes or no.
maybe
Please.
no. I'll explain why I either was confused or am confused, because the way
No,
that
dude, it was literally the exact same thing I've been saying in that scenario.
No, but you make it sound different because I didn't take it that the first time. Because
the fucking shit, dude. I've been saying the exact same thing, dude.
No, you literally just switched the wording. Because the first time I thought...
How did I switch it?
Let me fucking talk, dude. Holy shit. The first time you gave that scenario was... because every time she wonks out, it's not just her clicking into being Nikki. It's also when crazy Nikki is going insane. And literally like short-circuiting while she's the crazy Nikki. That's how I took it.
Okay, what if it's just I'll reframe the scenario. What if it's not her like bashing her head or anything? It's just her calling out in the middle of the night saying, "Kill me, kill me, kill me." Okay. What if it's just that wonking out? Does that change it from being malicious?
I would say actively trying to withdraw her autonomy would be malicious, but what wouldn't be malicious is just him trying to remove the psychotic breaks, basically. That's what I thought you meant the first time.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so in the situation where it's your sister, and he has the option to end the wish, but instead...
But he furthers the wish and makes it more extreme. That would be malicious because he's actively... He's not just, oh, I want her to love me. It's, I want to withdraw even her real side waking up. Or coming
Okay,
out.
so him getting rid of her... Okay, wait, hold on. So him getting rid of her saying, kill me in the night, would that be a furthering of the wish? Would that be a more extreme version of the wish, considering that that's basically like the last vestiges of her
yeah,
will,
it would be more
psyche?
extreme. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so that makes it more malicious.
It would make... No, it would make... That would explicitly make it... That would actually make it malicious. Where you couldn't
Okay, that's
debate.
what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying the entire time in that scenario. If he either ends it, or he chooses to get rid of the...
That's not how I was taking it. I was taking it as...
Okay, but then...
She's not going to be freaking out at parties and, like, screaming while she's taking a shower and taping up the door and killing, like, chopping up the cat, feeding it to him. She's not going to be, you know, walking around with, like, all this, where she's, like, reversing back into a corner or having, dropped or like
that was
10
a fucking
FPS.
long fucking conversation. Holy fuck, dude.
Because genuinely what I was thinking of, because there's so many points in the movie where, you know, in scary movies when they want something to look unnatural.
Okay, wait. Before I forget, so with that situation, are you looking at that guy as a villain now?
Yeah, because he's explicitly going out to further something and explicitly intending to withdraw.
Okay.
That.
Could you also say that if he said, you know, the wish is pretty great, but you know she's just really fucking annoying in bed, just yelling out like kill me, so I'm just gonna you know, make the wish more extreme and just completely wipe out that little segment of her will. Could you also say that's selfish?
Yeah, but...
Okay, so in that scenario, he's both selfish and malicious, right?
Yeah, because that's
okay, all right. Yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to know. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no, I already said that villains either can't... a villain is always malicious, but a villain can also be malicious and selfish. By definition, if an anti-hero is selfish and malicious, they're no longer an anti-hero, same with a hero. Or a protagonist.
So I don't understand what are you disagreeing with the people in the comments? They basically kind of just said what I'm saying, no?
But what you're saying isn't what happened.
Okay.
Now, if I want to go back, actually, I'll come back. I need to put my clothes in the dryer. What was I saying?
Oh.
This is like not a great analogy, but I think it's somewhat analogous. Imagine you're at your workplace, let's say either one, and your boss or your manager comes in and says, hey, I want you to stay back an hour or two because we need some extra work done, or we need to be moving parts of the office to get it ready for the next work week. Now you might think that that's a bitch move, that he's making you do that and he's making you stay behind. But then what if that would be different. You can think of him however you want. You can think, oh, what a fucking bitch, or what a faggot, or you know, this isn't worth it. Or you know, why me? Or would that be malicious or just a dick move? Or would this be malicious where he just comes in and says, hey bro, I want you to stay behind for an hour or two, and it's like, I'm not gonna pay you, but if you don't stay, you're gonna get fired. That would be malicious because he's explicitly doing that to be a dick.
So the scenario is your employer? Is that your employer?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's asking you to do extra work?
Yeah, like whether it's on your computer or just to move some desks and chairs.
Go on.
So you can say, oh, that's a, you know, I don't really want to do that. It's just a dick move. But it would be actively malicious and I don't know if you'd say psychotic, but if he was like, yeah, I just want you to stay behind just so you don't get to go home at a decent time, that would be malicious. Now the other one could still be a dick move. He could still be being selfish. Instead of him staying behind and maybe helping you or doing it himself or getting someone else to do it, he's making you do it. Now that's not a perfect analogy, but it at least gets the point where in the second version he's just doing it just to be a dick.
What's the situation where it's both?
Both what?
Malicious and selfish?
But like, would he be?
No, I just want to hear, like, what would that be in that scenario?
Well, would that be him telling you to stay back and do stuff and not paying you? Or
yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you're actually doing work, it's not as bad. Because at least there's a reason you're staying behind. Where in the movie, his reason for making the wish is for her to love him, not that he just explicitly wants to control her. Because I think, yeah, you could say, oh, the byproduct of the first scenario is that he still controls her anyway, but that's not his intent. So that's why there's a distinction among the words. That's why when I say these people are just throwing around terms and not even explaining how. But I wanted to go back to your scenario, but I don't remember what I was going to say. What was it? It was me not understanding the meaning behind what you're saying. So it was...
Okay, hold on. I just want to see what you think of this.
What was it?
What do you think of this? I sent it in Discord. Would you agree with that?
I would agree to the harmful part, but if harm is a byproduct, hold on. Um,
To me, it's the knowing that makes something malicious rather than just selfish alone. Like that's what I've just been trying to tell you.
okay, so like by definition it means having or showing desire to cause harm, pain, or suffering to others. It describes intentional action driven by spite, ill will, or the pure enjoyment of seeing someone else get hurt. Law, malicious intent involves premeditation or willful cruelty, so that means deliberate or intentional cruelty.
Well, you could definitely argue it's cruel to basically keep the wish going, right? If you know it's causing harm to that person.
Yeah, but is he keeping the wish going
Dude, that
in
is
order?
cruel.
Okay,
That
okay,
is
but
cruel.
is he keeping the wish going in order to cause cruelty, or in order to be cruel? That's what would make it malicious, or what would make him a villain.
Originally, no, but once you know it, once you know that it's causing harm and you still insist on keeping it, then I think that's malicious.
But wait. So then, but then by definition, that doesn't fit malicious though, because he's not intending it to do it for that reason. I think
well, if you keep it, and it's like, wait, read it again.
Having or showing the desire to cause harm, pain, or suffering to others. So that's you explicitly wanting to do so. It describes intentional actions driven by spite. So unless he's using the wish as an internal...
Wait, can you read the rest of it? Wait, can you read the rest of it?
Okay, so it describes intentional actions driven by spite, ill will, or the pure enjoyment of seeing someone else get hurt. And then in law, malicious intent involves premeditation or willful cruelty. So he would need to want to cause...
Well, wouldn't that be considered... Wouldn't that be willful cruelty?
The only way that it could be is if he used that the wording of the wish as a cover for what he actually wanted. But then,
so like, I'm trying to think of this in like a real life scenario, right? Like if you had somebody in a cage and you deprive them of their freedom, and you know, somebody came up to you and they explained all the ways that this is wrong, but they say, I fully agree with you. I just, you know, this slave is very useful. You know, they bring me, utility, pleasure. Knowing that their conditions are horrible, I'm still not going to free them. I'm still going to keep them as a slave in this capacity. Isn't that like a willful intent to, you know, persist the, or whatever it said, to persist the cruelty or whatever? Even if it's not their intention, they just want the slave purely for their own satisfaction. It's
but
just
then,
at the expense of it, and then they know that.
But the whole point of malicious is the intent. That's that's just a necessary pillar of the word, of the term. Now I'm sure there are many other words that to describe that scenario. Or like.
But can you send me the definition of that last one, where it's like persists or whatever, or just in the entire thing, honestly? Like just screenshot it. So what do you think of that individual then? Like the slave in the cage? Like the one that I just said. That person's not malicious.
Oh,
the scenario I just said.
Why
with the
are they
slave
doing
in the
it?
cage.
What, like?
For their own satisfaction.
For their own satisfaction. Keeping them in the cage for their own satisfaction. Because them being in the cage satisfies them?
Well, they're a slave, right? Like, I mean, I just, I think of a slave, I think of a cage, right?
Okay,
they do like everything.
So
they labor.
Them being a slave satisfies them.
Their slave, like having all the, I guess, the benefits, if you want to call it that, of having a slave. Well, they work for you, they're your sex slave, they're everything.
No matter what
everything
they do,
that a slave can be.
If you having or them being your slave satisfies you, or gives you any sort of pleasure, that would be malicious, yeah. But that's not the same.
Why?
Okay, so in the scenario with the cage, what is the main desire for that?
I just said cage. Just because, like, I associate a slave with, like, just think of it as, like, you have a person under your control constantly. And you know this, they know it. And in this situation, like, somebody, like an outside party told you.
And what was the desire?
All the ways in which this is wrong.
What was the desire or objective with this?
The desire was to have the slave so they can do basically everything for you. Everything you think a slave can do, they want the benefits of that. Whether that's hard labor,
so
in some cases, sex slaves.
So this person wanted a slave in order to do things for them.
Yes, at the expense of.
For the express intent of, stripping someone of their rights and autonomy, in order to serve them, and whether actually even in that part, even in that, yeah, no, it's not the same.
Hey, can you explain the difference?
Oh fuck, dude. Maybe I
no,
am
like,
smarter
genuinely
than I think I am, or something, or maybe either I'm dumb or I'm smarter than I think I am, because I don't understand what's going on.
I just want to know the distinction that you're making. That's it.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with this fucking mouse, dude? Hold on. So, scenario 1. I want a slave.
How about this? I'll send you this as well. Just want to know what you think of this. Brock, it's okay. It's okay. I just want you to read this.
What is it?
I sent it in Discord.
Okay. If you read this without any other knowledge, just read these two, scenario 1, scenario 2. Which one sounds worse? Which one sounds malicious and which one sounds anything else? Because if these two sound the same to you, then I don't know what to say.
Did you send something or?
No, just have it on stream.
Oh, me. Let's see. Hold on. Scenario 1, I want a slave in order to do my bidding because I want it and it pleases me. Scenario 2, I want her to love me more than anything in the world.
No other context, which one's worse?
Scenario 1, obviously.
Scenario 2 is just as bad. It's the same thing, though. Right?
Right, but...
That's the wish. That's the wish. That is the
Are we
wish.
talking about my scenario?
This is your scenario?
Or the movie?
Scenario 1 is your scenario. Scenario 2 is the movie. Scenario 2.
What about scenario 1? What about scenario 1 versus the hypothetical?
Say that again.
What about scenario 1 versus the hypothetical, like with your sister? Is that the same thing?
Well, with the entailment that he's doing, it he specifically wants to rid her of all of her humanity, basically, of her consciousness.
Yeah. Those are the same thing, right?
That would be number 1.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay. That's what I was asking.
But that wouldn't be number 2.
I never said it was number 2.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just clarifying. Hold on.
You see what I sent you on Discord?
Yeah. Would it be malicious if someone gave incorrect testimony in court where they thought they were telling the truth, but it was just wrong information, but it got an innocent person put in prison? Would that be malicious, or would that just be what would that be?
Are you saying that like to argue the slave in the cage?
No, I'm saying that's
or just on its own.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm kind of making it analogous to the movie because he wasn't aware of it when he gave the wish and testimony in this scenario are
that whole
are
argument.
Equivalents.
No, like that whole argument wasn't about the movie. It was about the scenario I had, which is different from the movie.
Yeah, but in your scenario with what, with the sister or with what?
The sister.
But in your scenario, you gave other qualifiers that were different, so that's why the logic
that's
would
why
be
it's
different.
different from the movie.
And that's why when I understood what you meant. Oh, this is what I wanted to say.
What were the qualifiers?
The qualifier was that he. So okay, I'll just explain it in the movie.
He didn't know, right?
But the thing that I wanted to explain before will actually parallel the qualifiers. So in the movie, there are many instances where she's either doing super crazy things, weird things like at night. She's watching him sleep and then she moves. I was going to say this before. Well, you know how when scary characters move in movies where they explicitly make it unhuman, so it looks weird, so it looks odd?
Uncanny,
Yeah, Uncanny Valley. So she would do things like that many times. With her, I don't know if it was CGI, if it was lighting, like her entire silhouette would be black, even though the room wasn't completely black. Maybe it was just good lighting, I'm not sure. She would have like manic fits or just super weird stuff that any person that didn't know the wish came true would think they're having a manic fit or something. Versus the very few parts of the movie where you're like, oh, that's the real one poking through, which I would even say without the knowledge that we have, like the knowledge that Bear has, that would even be far more confusing. Because it happens a few times, and really the only time that you're like, oh where he would be like, oh shit, would probably be when she asked him to kill her. Because the other times I would say you could just chalk it up. Like ADHD maybe isn't the right like thing to compare it to, but people that can't concentrate or that zone out, like things like that, kind of. It's not like holy shit, like whoa, like this is a different person completely. So that's why when I heard you say work out the kinks, I thought of the crazy sort of like Zaz from Batman or from DC, like psychotic, like Joker type instances, not where it's her poking through. So like that was just a genuine misunderstanding. Because to me, he has every reason to be scared as fuck in his own home with her in there, because she's legitimately like the worst serial killer type of personality you could ever, like, they actually did very well making you scared of her. Like especially when he's trying to sleep and she's asleep, but he can't fucking sleep because they're in bed together. Like he did a really good job at that. To where like he basically feels like a hostage in his own home where she won't leave. So to me, that's another reason why it takes him longer to figure it out, because it's not like from not having the information, he's not at all trying to keep her there. She will not leave. Like when he tries to get her or them to get some space, or even when he tries to go just for like a boys' night out, there's like she goes crazy. I don't remember what exactly what happens at that point, but he's like, yeah, she's gonna go crazy, so I'm just gonna let her come to the night out, and that's when she like cuts her face up and shit. That's when she like tells that weird story. So it's like, that's why I was confused, because when she's hitting herself in the face, that's what I thought you meant by kink.
If it was just that, it wouldn't it would change it for you.
Well,
so I assume he's just doing it out of fear. Then that's what I assume you're thinking, right?
Fear, and that's
like she's scaring the shit out of him.
Yeah, to like a fucking insane level. That's why I would say it's more of a selfish intent and not just malicious, because he's not trying to further take. He's like, his intent isn't to further take things away. He's making himself more safe within the scenario. And I'm not really going to make this argument, but in a way that would make her more safe, because she'd be fucking smashing her face less. But that's not really like, in a way, the
What do
movie.
you think of like what do you think? Sorry, what do you think of like? Do you think it's analogous, like say with the slave owner scenario? Say they feel threatened or they're scared, so they put like more chains on them. Like, okay, we'll put chains around their feet and their hands. We'll encase their hands in like some kind of like thing where they can't like claw at me or whatnot. Do you think that's analogous if they're just acting mainly out of fear? They don't want to like free the person.
Well,
I understand
think,
in the movie, like he doesn't know that
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like
So I would say it is different because at the beginning, he wasn't, you know, doing the enslaving either knowingly or on purpose. I would say doing that thing while either already having that intention from the beginning. Yeah, obviously that would be. I would say that's not as comparable as well. Yeah, in that scenario, because he at the beginning
just in that scenario
had intent. But I would say it's
so in
more,
that scenario with the slave, it is, you would consider that to be malicious as well as whatever else, right?
Yeah, like further restricting someone that
he's
you already
selfish.
intend to restrict.
So the slave owner, he's selfish because he wants all the benefits of the slave to do his work, yada yada yada. But the fear that made him basically go to like a further extreme of enslavement for that person would also make him malicious, even though he was acting out of fear.
Well, in the scenario where he had the slave because he wanted a slave would already make him malicious, and he
as
would
well
be
as selfish, right?
And the wanting to make himself more physically secure and safe, that would definitely be selfish. I don't know if that specifically, I guess that would further the malice, but what I would compare it to, it's not a perfect comparison either, would be someone in prison, would training someone in prison because maybe they've done something in order for you to be fearful of them. Maybe put them in solitary or put them in the two, I can't remember what they're called, but the chains where it's on their ankles and their wrists and then put together. Would that be malicious?
Well, it's like, you know, you're further restricting somebody's freedom, mobility. Definitely seems malicious.
Even
regardless of, you know.
Even if they were in prison for a reason?
Oh, are we talking about a prisoner or a slave?
In my scenario, I'm talking about a prisoner.
Oh yeah, I mean the context has changed there, right?
Okay. But well, I thought I was gonna. I feel like I was gonna say something I can't remember before.
It's like, you know, like you have a slave, and you know, out of fear, you remove all their teeth so they can't bite you, right? It makes you more safe, but you know, you basically, you know, you've harmed that slave, you know, basically, you know, more than initially, right? It's like, sure, you know, you acted out of fear or whatever in that scenario, but you know.
Yeah, and just because you're acting out of fear doesn't necessarily make you malicious.
No.
Yeah, that would also require intent, but also, I guess it's also a more of a, what's the word? More nuance when someone isn't in their right mind like that.
Yeah.
If it's impulsive.
We have those straight jackets for a reason, right?
Yeah, I'm like, if someone does something bad in the moment through impulse, and maybe like what is it? Not passion, but basically like there's a difference between first degree. Okay, yeah, there's a difference between first degree murder and either manslaughter or third degree manslaughter / murder, where one could be you didn't even mean to kill someone, but you know you didn't press the brakes in time, or something like that, right? It was in the snow and you spun out because you're going the speed limit, but you shouldn't have been going the speed limit because there's snow on the ground and you killed someone. That would be manslaughter, but. Yeah. The first degree murder, which would also entail that you could be put to death or maybe should be put to death, is that you had intent to do harm to someone and or kill them. So there's even...
What would you say... Yeah, what would you say in a scenario where it's the slave situation again? Like you take a free person, right? They're well-adjusted, a well-adjusted human being, you know, they had a life... you know, they're sane, but you enslave them, and as a product of that enslavement, they begin to basically go insane and start acting in all these erratic ways. And then, you obviously become fearful because, this person's become unpredictable, and, you impose a person, let's say, before they were, only allowed to roam in the house, but because they're acting erratic, you fear for your life, so then you put them in a cage, right? You further restrict their freedom.
But in this scenario, isn't the initiation of the scenario them already doing something that...
It's a different scenario.
But isn't that intent still malicious, though? So it wouldn't...
Wait, explain.
Well, it's a scenario where someone is getting a slave again, right?
Yeah, somebody gets a slave who was once a free person. Yeah.
Well, I would say get a slave is malicious. Yeah, I've already said that.
And then let's say that person starts wonking out. They start going insane because they're enslaved, and then you impose further restrictions on them.
No, I think I kind of
because you're fearful. Would that also be malicious as well, or just
I wanted to watch
just something out of fear?
Dante gets a blood.
Well, just because it's out of fear, it could still be malicious.
So you would, in that situation, you would say it's malicious.
I would say that's malice after already being malicious. Yeah.
So
malice on top of malice. Okay.
And kind of gives his life away for free here with no sort of teammate help. And Boston's able to kind of just work a 3-3 plan off a mid-pick. And at that point, the 2v2, they're able to see this out. You guys kind of agree, Dante?
No, I don't. In the movie, now I might be mistaken, so don't quote me, but I don't believe there's any point in the movie where he's like, oh shit. She's either acting crazy and or putting me in danger, so I need to kill her. I don't believe there's a point in the movie where he does that, and I don't think that's him being like, oh, I still want to control her. I think that's just him not wanting to kill her. Like, that's genuinely how I...
What does he say back to you when you text him?
I don't know, bro. He just calls me...
Hey, hold on. I don't even care if Joe gets to him, bro. When you get that first blood on defense, specifically on this map, because offense is already kind of hard, right? If you get that first blood on defense, bro, Dante, give up the whole bomb and just...
I mean,
it's a good movie though. Like,
yeah, we've been seeing mid-60s.
I guess I could be wrong. I don't.
They're cooking.
it's not that I don't think I'm wrong, is that I genuinely believe that a lot of these people are either looking into it. I didn't watch the movie with any expectations. I had no clue what was going to happen, so I wasn't ready for anything. So I took it how I was taking it in the moment, and I'm not like taking sides. Because in the movie I'm like, yeah, like this chick's hot, she's cute, she's sweet. Like I would probably like her as well. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I want her to have bad things happen. It's kind of like in movies, it's really smart to have a hot chick play a chick that you need, that the hero needs to save, so you can connect with the movie easier. Like I feel like that's pretty normal.
Wait, what? Oh.
On an incomplete, so if Rutsky keeps it decent, he will advance on. But Sean
What if
he needs to be absolute.
going back to the scenario with your sister? What if the guy, let's say she is walking out like the girl in the movie, okay? What if she's like, you know, doing all that crazy shit? What if he wished? What if he, yeah, like he edited the wish so she doesn't do all that crazy shit, but he still allows, he still lets her have like those vestiges of her will, so she'll still go like kill me like whenever she's like asleep, or sometimes she'll kind of snap out of it and say help me or whatever. Let's say, yeah, he's okay with like leaving that because it's not really troublesome to him. He can, you know, he can put in earplugs or whatnot, just so long as she's not like physically gonna hurt him. Does that change anything for you, or just like, yeah, what are your general thoughts on that?
So and we're still talking about whether it makes him a villain, I assume. So him being a bad person is a prescriptor for him to be a villain, but that doesn't make you a villain just because you're a bad person. So again, just like how you could be selfish but not a villain, or both, I'd probably say that would
Well, yeah,
work
that
here.
makes sense.
Yeah, I would say that would still work here because like, because here there would have to be a deliberate like desire, or again intent to like either cause harm or pain or suffering. Now, just because it's a byproduct,
In that scenario, I'm kind of like trying to frame him as just acting out of fear, right? He only wants to address the things that could physically harm him. He doesn't really care.
I would say it would still make him a bad person. It just wouldn't automatically make him malicious, because what he's the reason doesn't matter what the byproduct is. The reason why he's doing it is the main matter. Now, that doesn't mean that I couldn't make him my villain if it's the scenario where it's my sister. That actually wouldn't change the fact either way. That would just change my personal connection to it, and it would be a subjective, because it would be me acting upon emotions and not being able to look at it from like an objective, disconnected view.
You don't think like it's kind of like a situation where he's just like, I kind of, I treat this person well. Like, it's like, I don't know, or how you hear like certain people, like, I don't know, back in the days, like, yeah, I have slaves, but I treat them well, right? Like, do you think that's analogous to this?
But when, but that
Like, he
would
doesn't
also
want
be
her to hurt herself or anything.
that would also be, in context to them being a slave in general, right? So that wouldn't be like, oh, I treat them well. I treat them well as a slave.
Well, as a slave. Like, he treats them well within
The
terms of slavery.
Standard of slavery, which is already an immoral business, I guess.
Would you think your sister is in a slave-like position in that scenario?
Where is this the same scenario where he's actively trying to further the
he wants to get rid of the glitches,
withdrawal?
whatever.
Was that the withdrawal of the person?
Yeah, no. He wants to get rid of the things that could cause harm to him or self-harm to her, but he doesn't care if she's still in there and says like kill me and all that shit. It's that scenario. Would you think like your sister is a slave in that situation or no?
Whether you want to call it slave or indentured servant, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that guy break his leg on Team Canada in FIFA?
I don't watch soccer.
Well, yeah, I don't watch it, but I heard about it from my mom and saw it. I don't even know how it broke. He's just running, and I feel like the guy kind of maybe kicks his leg or bumps into his leg like hard, and it just snaps. I'm like, how's that?
Fuck man, getting hit in the shin is really fucking painful, so
yeah, I got hit.
If his legs were then that'd be pretty bad.
I got hit in the shin by Biko, of all people. I don't know if I think it was his head. And I still have nerve damage in that spot.
Like, that shouldn't piss anybody off.
It's fucked up.
No, it's common sense too. But they do.
We were.
Do want to put their bent on it, and I do. And she wouldn't be saying that stuff any more than.
What was that? What were you doing?
I don't know what we were doing specifically, but it was we were playing something on the field at TCI.
I don't buy that as being organic at all. I think it was talked about and discussed with the PR teams, with the producers, with the studios. Same thing I think here. I think it's a mistake. Can we talk about the Supergirl Cup for a second?
No, just going back.
That doesn't look like it looks like something else. I mean, I've been around.
You said, what would you say, prescriptor?
You tell me what it looks like.
Being a bad guy is a prescriptor of a villain.
Shit.
I don't know what that is. What does prescriptor mean?
maybe I used that word wrong, but it's a prerequisite for being a villain.
No, obviously
So maybe
you don't think,
maybe I would say it's a descriptor of a villain. Would one of the descriptors would be being a bad person, and in order to and a prescription of being a villain would be you would have to be a bad person.
So so basically all villains are bad guys, but not all bad guys are villains, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now obviously from our discussions, I know you wouldn't consider Bear a villain, but would you consider him the bad guy of the movie?
I think that the entity controlling her is the bad guy / villain.
Now, would you say the entity is a bad guy or a villain?
Well, it's something with ill intent, so I would say it's the baddie of the movie, and the villain. Just like how I would say, like an entity in one of the Conjuring movies or whatever those movies would be, would be the villain.
Oh. What is involved in keeping a slave? Like, what does keeping a slave entail, do you think? Like, what are the descriptors of a slave? Or prescriptors or whatever you said?
Well, I guess you'd actively have to not allow them to leave or do as they I guess morally and legally could.
Would you say it involves prescriptor would involves denying a person their autonomy?
Oh, yeah. Well, like the entailment of a slave would be that, yeah.
Do you think in the scenario, in those scenarios, does it meet that prescriptor or whatever?
Which one?
Let's just stick with the scenario then, I guess. With the sister and the dude editing out the glitches.
And what was the question?
Does that prescriptor hold true in that scenario? Denying, like, if your sister is going to fit the definition of a slave, prescriptors would be, the denial of personal autonomy.
Yeah, and it seems like their goal is to further that as well. While also having that in their mind that's what is going on.
And that could also be considered malicious.
Well, in that scenario, it would be, yeah.
That's okay.
This is basically the closest track to his home. Again, Loren Booth.
Now, wait, I just want to ask, So the scenario where he edits out the glitches, but he can, she can still, cry out or whatever. Is that malicious?
Say it again.
In the scenario where the girl can like still cry out like help me, kill me, blah blah blah, but she won't like do like any of that crazy shit, like duct taping the door, possibly harming him, whatever. If he just edits out those parts, is that still considered malicious?
And so, fuck. What's the first part of the scenario?
Like he edits out the crazy shit. Like not her. She'll still say help me, kill me, or whatever. Like every now and then she'll like snap out of it, and, like ask to be free or whatever.
So like,
but she won't. She won't go crazy.
Like, just it's not even just to stay consistent, but the delineation is gonna keep being. Is his intent to basically.
No, his intent in that scenario is just acting out of fear. Like he doesn't want to die in that situation. That's it.
No, but I mean the intent towards the, like. Well, if his only intent is because of fear, then it wouldn't be malicious. If his intent was, oh, I'm scared, so I'm going to withdraw all of their ability to function either as they would like to or a function as their own person, then that would be malicious.
Okay, so basically, if he still intends to keep the wish in effect, just edit out the crazy shit. You said that would be malicious?
Not necessarily to keep the wish in effect, but.
Well, I mean, he is inherently doing that, right? If he just wishes out the side effects, the crazy shit, but he still wants like her to love him, right? He's still. I mean, he's not verbally saying it, but it is implicit.
But that's basically a byproduct of what his intent is. It's not the goal of his intent. That's why I said before. The
goal of his intent isn't to keep the wish.
Is he using that? Those words to deceive maybe someone that might hear, or maybe try to deceive the entity itself, so he doesn't seem like he's doing it on purpose for that reason, to keep them enslaved or further enslave them?
Deceived?
Yeah, like, is he trying to deceive the grantor of wishes? So even the grantor or anyone who hears.
No, like no, he explicitly just says, I still want the wish, but I'm just concerned about all this crazy shit. So edit the wish so it doesn't include all this crazy shit.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's malicious.
Wait, what changed in that situation for you?
Well, because he's not explicitly trying to further. Like, his goal isn't to like strip or enslave. Because, like I said, if he's using that dialogue.
Wait, can you wait? My mic cut out. Can you say all that again? Did you hear what I asked?
I think so.
I just want to know what changed.
Well, because if with just the dialogue that we hear, that's what we have to go off of. We don't know that he's going off of any internal internal motive or objective that is sinister. there's no like indicator that like he wants to like do bad things to her or have bad things happen to her.
So hold on, let me see if I understand this. If he doesn't verbalize what I'm not saying this about you, but what I personally believe to be implied intentions, it's no longer.
Well, what's the implied intention?
It's no longer the same thing. Well, to me, if he makes an edit on the wish, doesn't that still mean he still wants the wish to be in effect that she's still basically a slave, like she doesn't have her personal autonomy? Like, isn't that? I don't see how that's not like implied. Like that's like implicit in the request to edit. You know what I mean?
Like, I guess you could see it that way, but also, like, okay, so what if he doesn't see it that way? That even if she is, right? What if he doesn't see it that way? Or what if he just doesn't even think of that?
Like, see what specifically? I don't know what you're referring to.
That she's basically a slave.
Well, if he doesn't see that she's a slave,
yeah. Like what? Like, because let's say he's not, because especially in the movie, it didn't seem like he had that in mind or wanted that.
So, couple things with that. So, is he still making an edit to the wish then? In that scenario, if he doesn't believe she's enslaved?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would be editing the wish.
Because to me, if you knew the wish was real and you made an edit to it, it means like you know like the wish is real, right? Like it takes over that person basically.
Well, it would be apparent that the wish has changed the person. I don't know if
against their will, maybe. Would you go as far to say that?
Yeah, sure.
And then what was the question again that you had?
I don't remember. Did I have a question?
I think you asked me like, what if he didn't believe or something? I can't remember.
Oh, like what if he didn't even what if it didn't even pop into his mind, like the slave aspect?
After he knows that it like usurped her will? Is that what you're saying, or?
Oh, sure, yeah. Even there.
So after the fact of knowing that it subsumed her will and like all these like side effects are happening or whatever, he just doesn't believe
or well,
she's like enslaved.
Let's not even say that he doesn't believe it, because that would entail that it's popped up in his mind. Like, what if he hasn't even thought about that?
So then what would he be saying to the person, the wish editor or the wish granter?
Oh, the same thing that he does in the movie. I'd like to alter the wish. If that's again his first thing he says.
Would that, like, I'm trying to figure like how that would map onto like a real life situation where like somebody literally has a slave but they don't think they're a slave at the same time.
Well, if you have a slave, then like, are you saying like an overt slave, like you literally own the person?
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, obviously, because if you own them, you know about it. That wouldn't wouldn't really make sense.
But doesn't this person know about the wish in that scenario, though?
Yeah, but they wouldn't necessarily know that the wish results in.
Well, if the wish came true, right?
Slave.
Like, wouldn't you assume that it probably, like, there's a good chance that it interfered with that person's will? Like, if somebody just, you know, like somebody who didn't really care about you before just, you know, loves you like no one else right after you make a wish. I feel like it would just introduce contradictions in like the scenario itself, right?
Well, you don't think that something even small could be changed about someone's life and it not be and it not result them being enslaved?
Well, what is like I don't know the way the wish works exactly. Like,
yeah, I don't.
If it works like in the movie, well, in the movie the person just like becomes a different person, right?
The person is kind of like locked away, and basically you can compare it to someone being possessed. Basically, that's basically like to me that's the easiest way to think about it. As you can see, more announcements to.
Superman drops the all cock.
Ryan has the best description. It looks like some dude's dick mid-transition, or girls, or whatever.
Yeah,
looks like some roast beef going on there. I don't know.
Gosh, is this again? Is this 100% confirmed to be real?
Yes.
Yes.
There's
It is real.
video with people that have
It
them.
is real, Jeremy.
It's detachable. It's only in
Dude, I hate how when I try to zoom in to a picture with like the browser zoom,
You can pull the bottom part of the
and it
code
just
off.
makes
Somebody-
everything except the picture
Oh, there it
bigger.
is. Right there.
So
There's the guy
stupid,
right here.
dude.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Told you it's real.
There
it is.
You see him spreading that out there?
Yeah. Chris Gore's gonna buy
Transition cup. This is gonna get his age restricted. My gosh. Chris Gore, eat your heart out.
Good lord.
Jeez.
At least the Spider-Man popcorn bucket looks awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean the one that looks like jizz?
No, not
the one
that
with
one.
the building.
Yeah, that one looks awesome.
Building in the head.
Yeah.
So the first reactions are in for Supergirl from the influencers, and shockingly enough, they're
Best movie ever. Real
the
quick.
best movie ever.
They also seem to have had PR training.
I haven't even seen that one. What the?
Yeah,
fuck?
that's like Jimmy's. This is the popcorn.
So like in Harry Potter, if a girl uses a love potion on a dude, like she's now a villain / enslaving someone. Now that's with the implicit implicit and deliberate and full knowledge that that's what it's for, that's what it will do. Like, would that make like that has at least a moral intent? Would that make her a villain?
And that was the entirety of the movie?
No.
Okay, so it's just okay. Well, I wouldn't call her the main villain. Okay, Voldemort is still like the main villain, but yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, like she knowingly does that to another student. Yeah, she's selfish and that's malicious, right? Because she's actively taking over somebody's will. you're robbing somebody of their autonomy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
So
would be pretty bonus. Yeah.
now let's just say hypothetically, whether because it's Ron who it affects. Let's say Ron either accidentally drinks it because it was just the wrong drink, or someone else spiked his drink and it wasn't her, but let's say she liked Ron, someone else did it for her without her knowing, and then Ron becomes in love with her, and then the girl eventually finds out that's what happens and is like, oh, I like this, I'm gonna keep it going, or I'm gonna at least allow this to go on a little bit further.
Yeah, no, dude. Like, I'm not saying Bear is the villain, right? I'm just saying the person in that scenario I created, that's different from the movie, would be considered a villain in my eyes.
Because there's different intent.
Yeah.
I would say that's the main. Like, I'm not saying he's a good person. It's like, I don't actually
isn't
have
that
to.
what the people in the comments are saying though? That he's not a good person. I mean, isn't that basically what they're saying though in the comments for Bear?
That's being like unbelievably charitable.
I mean, yeah, it might be generous, but
that's like insanely generous.
I still think they're in the insanely generous.
Unbelievable.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Unbelievably generous. Yeah,
But it's like, I don't know, like Myrtle or whatever discovered that Ron was spiked, and she still liked it, but she had the opportunity to save him, but then, like in the scenario I painted, she just makes further edits to the wish, so Ron is a bit more subservient, less less problematic. Then I think most people would look at her like, this chick is fucking evil, right?
I
think that's a fair reaction, like for people like, oh dude, this fucking chick is evil, dude.
But I wouldn't say that he does it in order to make her more subservient, though.
No, like I'm not talking about like the movie.
Okay. Because I think I've said it before, but when he goes to alter the wish, he seems more apprehensive, unsure, and I don't want to say nervous because that's not the right word I want to use, but he's a lot less sure of himself. But then once the guy says that you can't alter it, he immediately, without hesitation, says, I want to cancel it. So wasn't he wasn't like, oh, I'd like to keep it, but I'm going to cancel it. Like he basically impulsive, maybe not impulsively, but like the sense you could get would be he doesn't even think about it. He just jumps right to it. So that's one reason why I'm saying that it's selfish and not malicious, because if someone was malicious, they wouldn't want to end it even if they weren't given the chance to change it. Because their whole goal is to instill
I just want further clarification. With the scenario that I came up with,
okay.
When you were initially saying that it wasn't malicious, what did that person? Yeah, go ahead.
No, because I thought the scenario that you were bringing up was, he wants to alter the wish because of the crazy shit and actual insane stuff she's doing, and either that was before or I just didn't maybe hear it or whatever. But then you said that the intent was to actively rid her of her person, basically. That would be malicious for sure. And I wonder, maybe it's a straw man, but I wonder what these people would say with after everything that happened up to the point where she said, kill me. I wonder what they would think if he did. I don't think they would be like, oh, he put her out of her misery. They'd probably think everything they do already, and then, oh, he killed her. So I think in the movie there's no winning with the people that think like that. Because the same people that think like that say that he doesn't like sacrifice himself, or that he doesn't do anything, and it's like, okay, well, the wish gets the wish stops at the end. How does it stop? When Nikki lives. There's only one way that the movie describes how it can end, like at least by the end. Like the only way that it could stop at that point is if he dies and she's alive at the end and free of the wish. And it wasn't her that killed him. So that's a hole in their logic that I haven't seen a single person on their side acknowledge. Because whenever you say something to them, they don't acknowledge what you say. I've asked multiple of them. I'll ask them, but he literally, how is him taking pills and basically killing himself, not killing himself in order to end the wish? And they don't even answer the question. It's kind of like when you ask them, let's just say I know the answer, right? Let's just say I know what my answer would be, but I still ask them to know their reasoning, and they can't even give me reasoning. They'll just say it's obvious, or, oh, you must be one of these people. Even to just have a conversation to understand why they think the way they do. Dude, it's fucking 2:30, bro. Dude, I swear to God, when we're 60, the day's gonna go by in like 3 minutes, man.